we've seen 2 slower pit stops from the number 8 crew. And albeit one for the number 2.
Slow lap that time by Duval at 28.0. Got caught in traffic, and all of a sudden his lead is back down to just 5 seconds. But of course the chasing pair have got to hit the same little group of traffic. It's always worse being the leader coming through it first. In LMP2, Alex Brundle leads by 6.7 seconds over Gustavo Menezes. The 44 car, Matt Rowe, sitting in 4th position now because he spun at turn 15, and Johnny Kane's up into 3rd for Straka, and he's only 8.5 seconds away from 2nd, 15 seconds from the lead.
Johnny Kane is gradually catching Gustavo Menezes.
He was so close to a podium at the Nürburgring.
71,000.
Ryan DL and him had a cracking last couple of 3 laps with DL. Amazing drive on a set of tyres that were well past their best.
They've had multiple 4th places this year. And with a 2-driver squad, it's Iron Man stuff from both Johnny Kane and Linus Williamson. They no doubt very hoarse. Nick Leventis will be croaking them on. Good afternoon, Nick. Tough a race drive to set any race out. When your team's having a good afternoon, somehow I'm sure it feels just a little bit better or worse.
No, not quite. I was about to say Romandaman's been lapped, but he hasn't. Not quite. It must have been close. 26.3 this time for Lloyd Duval after traffic. So 2nd place, Porsche number 1, Timo Bernhard behind the wheel.
Brake pass -1 click. Brake pass -1 click. Jump to P1 7 seconds, mate. I'll slow that down. Yeah, copy. I did -2. I'm looking for.
Brake bias, and it's time to push. Well, it's time, so basically, once he's to this fight, into the next one.
He's got fuel to spare as well. The crowd beginning to come back to this race in the last couple of hours. They've been out in the plaza behind us. They've wandered around the back of the pits. They've bought their souvenirs. They have their little fluffy Fuji-san toys. And now they are realising that there's a motor race still. There's nobody left. The car parks are still absolutely chocker here. Rammed. Every Japanese car that you've ever wanted to see in pretty much every colour is in the car parks here. An amazing array of automobiles. This is a very car-driven, car-centric country, and I don't think I've seen a dirty car while I've been here either.
It's very interesting. The car park, it looks like it's been flood damaged.
It's literally everyone is out polishing their cars on a Sunday. So many bike clubs and car clubs that were on their way up here this morning. 5.6 seconds the lead, and then Stefan Sarrazin has that much between himself and 2nd place at the moment. Timo Bernhard will hit the traffic. Romain Dumas, by the way, doing an extraordinary job. He's back down in the 26s again. 26.8. And that is impressive. That car has not gone any quicker. Graham?
It's just a corner, the distance between the on the road, the number 8 car in the lead.
Yes,
trying to get onto terms to lap.
They go down to turn 10 now, which is just around this corner. Coming down to the last third of the race, it's round 7 of the World Endurance Championship. 6 hours of Fuji. And Stefan Sarrazin?
Yes, then if you think the boost is good, we have a further step we could try. It's quite a big step, but we could try.
More boost, more hybrid power.
They want this. They want this very badly indeed. They are going to push the envelope. They are willing to take risks here.
And Sarrazin is the right man at the right time here, because he has been mighty. He has been awesome in the last couple of races. He was brilliant at Corta, and he was sliding the car around at Mexico as well, if you remember.
125 is the gap now between Romain Dumas and the leader, which means the gap on the road is 1.5 seconds.
Yeah. And Duval will want to get through before his pit stop.
Absolutely.
That's given Duval something to aim at now. And I know he's looking at his fuel numbers as well, Graham, but he will want to get through there. That would give them a buffer. Under 2 hours to go. It's the last third of the race. Surely another podium for the 1 car, but which step? And it could be any of the 3 so far. Kaz Nakajima, by the way, is holding station around about 22 seconds behind his teammate Stefan Sarazan in third place in the 6, who's 1.2 seconds behind Bernard in the number 1 Porsche, who's 4.5 seconds behind Loic Duval in the 8 Audi. Hang your hats, everybody. If you got up early for this one in Europe, it's been worth it, hasn't it?
Well, you're certainly not getting an espresso to wake you up, have you?
7 o'clock in the morning in the UK, 8 in Central Europe. So that's coming on to midnight on the west coast of the States and well into the early hours on the east, 3 o'clock in the morning. Already well through Monday in Australasia. I said we're on that same time zone, aren't we? So a little bit further on, perhaps. So tremendous last couple of hours of racing still to come.
I think, by the way, what I can say, subject to confirmation by the FIA World Endurance Championship, is we've got one championship confirmed, which is, I believe, so just after this, next chance to talk to
Matt Rouse, just taking out the 44 car, and that means Louise can speak to Richard Bradley.
Well, Richard Bradley, that was some battle you had out there with the 30.
That was incredible. I mean, it was very, very difficult because we were on the second stint of our tyres, and I knew that Gustavo had just come out on new ones. The team just said hold him back as long as you could, and I never thought it was going to be that fun. Honestly, in the car, I couldn't stop smiling, and I had to say fair play to Gustavo as well, because he was impeccably clean, and he made me work. He made me work very hard, but that was really awesome, and I haven't had that much fun in a long time.
You've got experience here, haven't you? And of course, we've seen it before. So where are the key points you can do that?
Yeah, I mean, I'm quite lucky in that, spending so long in racing in Japan, I know a few tricks about this place, and so I'm not going to say them now because I'm probably going to be racing against people who are watching this, but there were places I was making sure that he couldn't get near me, and it obviously did the trick because I was able to keep him behind, but it was just so much fun, and it's what it's all about, I love it.
Well, interesting stuff there from him. It's 163 laps down now. There is the gap on the road at the moment, 7.7 seconds. The 8 Audi to the 1 Porsche to the 6 Toyota Gazoo Racing TS050. 28 seconds back from the leader is the second of the Toyotas. The LMP2 battle still well underway with pit stop strategy in play as well. Gustavo Menezes under 7 seconds back from Alex Brundle, 26 from 36. And a trio from Mucka, Ford still ahead in GT Pro, Delalana from Collard, Aston Martin in the lead of GTM. To go back, John, to that point about which championship I believe, subject to official confirmation, has been settled, I think with the number 4 CLM in the garage and certainly not now able to complete the required laps, that means the number 13 Rebellion will not be caught, cannot be caught for the remainder of this season. It gives them more than the required 52-point gap, 50-point gap, just no point for pole position in LMP1 Privateer. So I believe Rebellion Racing have secured the LMP1 World Championship.
And congratulations to them.
Absolutely.
Hope to see them back next year in something.
Well, LMP2 is certainly the choice where they will race. I have zero doubt we will see Rebellion in some way, shape or form in the EFIWC 2017.
Okay, well, that is true. Potential of maybe 1 or 2 other races as well. There is the 42 of Strata Racing, Johnny Kane, having made his 5th pit stop, has dropped out of that battle at the sharp end of Vale, which is led by Alex Brundle again on the pit stop cycle, now 8.1 seconds ahead of Gustavo Menezes. The Bruno Senna installed in the dark red number 43 Ligier in third. He's about half a minute over Sean Galale in the number 30 Ligier. That car gone very, very well. Oh, now, what was going on there at the back of the Ford?
Which Ford?
The 67 car, that was a real car. Now, were they just fasting on I looked up in the middle of that, and and somebody was messing about with an exhaust point or something in the back. Maybe just putting the grounding lead on. Mucker now leads on the rotation of the pit stops. What I'm waiting for here, Graham, is to see if the 95 Aston Martin gets ahead and how long it can stay ahead before it pits, because we're under 2 hours now, so you know what I'm thinking. Where are they going to be at the end of the race?
Absolutely. Would you like another interesting point?
Factoid? Yes.
Absolutely. Well, at the moment where we are with the number 8 Audi leading the race and the number 2 Porsche in 5th position, an hour and 54 minutes remaining, we came to the race courtesy of the pole position points for the number 8 Audis, number 66 Ford pits in front of us from.
Harry Tinkler's retaken the wheel of the 67.
Of course, was slightly out of sequence, probably courtesy of that incident with number 78.
It was, I think there was next to no difference, to be honest, Graham. There was 2.5 seconds between them, and there was 2.5 seconds between them. So
I think the Tinkler Prio car pitted a couple of laps earlier and out of sequence because of that incident.
It hasn't seemed to have hurt them as Ollie Clark takes over takes over the 66 car. So well inside the last 2 hours now, and the sunshine comes back out again. It's good news for Audi.
Yep.
And for Louise, because she does like the sunshine. She's a happy little soul.
Yep.
6.1 seconds. Louise, is your hair still straight?
Yes, I can give a hair report that it is very straight.
Right, there is a reason for that. That may sound fatuous, but there's a reason for that. Louise's hair is an absolute, pardon the pun, barometer of, in fact that's not the right term, is it, for what measures humidity, but Louise's hair measures humidity. If there's any humidity in the air at all, Louise, your hair curls, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
Yeah, and the other thing I'd say is, and it's an important part of that debate is, and it's funny as well.
Yeah. Well, no, it's useful. I find it very useful that we have somebody out there who can give us an absolute.
I went to Kota and I can't do a thing with it.
Exactly. So it's not quarter frizzy, it's still straight.
Absolutely.
So that's.
We should maybe develop a scale.
Yeah, I agree with that. Duval by 7.8 seconds as the sun comes out. The Audi gets quicker. 126.5 against a 30.4.
Slow down that time from Timo Bernard.
That's traffic potentially. Will Stevens on the left there. Roman Rusinov on the right. Stauzan just 1.4 seconds behind the Porsche now, so second and third closing up, and Kaz Nakajima only 20 seconds behind.
That's closing.
Yeah, slightly.
It's not more than slightly.
That's 22 seconds.
That's a significant change for Kaz Nakajima. He is certainly drawing back into the battle for second.
Let's have a listen to the second place call.
It was just the traffic, I didn't see. So I went wide in turn 5, the guy didn't see me, well, okay. Okay, do your best to clean the tyres and get back on it.
So I went wide in turn 5, and that was Carl saying, I didn't see what you did, must have took his eye off the screen. More significantly, just ahead of this battle, as the sun streams through the clouds around Mount Fuji, Duval is now going to have to look behind him, and Dumas is going to have to look behind him, and Duval is going to have to try and make a clean pass. He can't afford. This is crucial for both sets of teams. He's passed him. He's passed going down into turn 6.
Yeah, the duo, and it's changed.
He could not afford to be held up there like Duval. And so Romain Dumas is now off the lead lap in the championship leading. The Drivers' Championship leading car has dropped off the lead lap. Wow.
Well, an hour and 49 minutes to go. Not done yet, not even a little bit. Stefan Sarazan very significantly has not dropped much further back from Timo Bernard.
No, well, he hasn't dropped at all.
And this will, as he comes through what just looks like all the LMP2 cars in the world, It's actually two of them, but doing a lot of movement on track. Gustavo Menezes, meanwhile, is just dropping back a little from Alex Brundle. 10 seconds is the gap now, with Gustavo on a different pit stop cycle effectively to the 26 car. Those gaps, by the way, Duval now 8.6 seconds ahead of Timo Bernhard, 170 laps complete. There's a further 2.4 seconds back to Stefan Sarazan.
I'm now looking at GTE Pro, and Marco Sorensen is just 2 seconds ahead of the Fords, and he's not made his pit stop yet, and Ollie Ply is closing him down. So even if the Aston was ahead getting towards the end of this race, it's going to be very, very tight indeed to whether they can be ahead at the end, even if they can stretch their last pit stop, their last stint, excuse me, and the Fords have to splash.
I'm being asked, by the way, if we are using Louise's hair for technical reasons, does she need FIA homologation?
Yes, indeed. And any hair product has to be approved.
Yeah, absolutely does, with a label on it, a sticker.
And that includes any banding, scrunchies. I'm being told that was probably a very 1980s comment. This is from somebody who's just bought a 1994 car, Louise. That's, you know, I still live there. The lead for Loic Duval then, a 1:26.6 last time around, is nearly 9 seconds, and Timo Bernhard can't shake off that pesky Toyota behind him. Stefan Sarazan in third position is just 2 seconds behind. Very quick in the second sector, that Toyota. Very quick indeed. Something like half a second and more quicker than the Porsche at this time in the race. In GTE Arm, we've started what must be the penultimate set of pit stops. Matthias Lauda has just taken the number 98 Aston back out again from the lead. He's lost the lead for a moment to Emmanuel Collard, but he's only half a minute behind, so when Manu pits, then he'll get that back. In GTE Pro, we're in the middle of the pit stops at the moment. Davide Rigon leads from Harry Tinknell in second place, who's got ahead of Marco Sorensen, the 67 car. Graham is pointing at the Manor garage.
45 back into the garage. I'm going to have to take serious issue, I'm afraid, with something that's been posted on social media. James Fox, shame on you. I'll have you know the technical term for a humidity instrument is not a hydrometer. It is, of course, a Beckett.
Yeah.
45 minutes of this sort of action.
Yeah, and in comes Collard to pit. 5th time down the pit lane for the number 83, and through goes Matthias Lauda back into the lead. Adam Carroll in 3rd place, still to make his 4th stop. Why did the 83 car make an extra stop? Did they get picked for something?
They got stop and hold.
That's they did for speeding in the pit lane.
Speed.
Yes, they did. Well, remember,
This is a battle we're looking at for 3rd position GTE Pro. But a wiggle there from the number 95 Aston Martin as number 66 Ford looks up the inside. He's going to make that pass there, not quite. A wiggle from the 66 Ford. In extremis. Two incredibly different looking cars.
okay. Defensive line being taken there, because that is a battle for position.
Absolutely right.
So Sorensen is within his rights there to hold back this one. Now he's got a pit, but every moment that he can hold this car up is a potential for him to claw back some time after his pit stop. They are two very different cars, looking cars indeed.
Absolutely. Aston holds the advantage. And but the Ford is focused on the back. And looking for a way by.
Oh, seem to have lost Graham there for a moment.
Not for last time. That's not what you usually want to see you in, is it? Really?
And here comes the McRae-driven manner as well. Now, does the Ford just sneak across and get a bit of a draft? It does. Aston has got the legs on the Ford down the straight, which, considering that Ford is super slippery, prototype shapey, is testament to the balance of performance makers. Tries to go down the inside, gets his nose chopped off.
That's because the Manor was where he wanted to put the Aston Martin. Compromises line through turn 1 into turn 2. We've seen before now. My guess is that Ford is going to be alongside.
Oh, Menezes out of the 36 car, which is in the pit lane.
Nick Lapierre is the new driver aboard the 36 car, championship leader. No move made on third position on the 66 car. Olivier Blanc, fresh from for a win at Petit Le Mans. Fancies another step on the podium here. Flashes the Aston Martin not to let him know that he wants to get through, which of course it does. I suspect it's a warning that the Toyota was coming, and it did remarkably quickly. Nakajima is definitely closing the gap. Is catching teammate Sarrazin quickly. In comes the leader.
You can tell that Aston's on the end of its run. It does not have the grip of the Ford behind it, as in comes Loic Duval with an hour and 50 minutes to go. Check that, an hour and 43 minutes to go, so that's just over 100 minutes. At 50 minutes per stint, that is going to be close for this car to get to the end. The Aston and the Ford have swapped places for the moment, but the Aston will be able to drag back before the start-finish line and hold the place on the timing and scoring. But now, of course, the Ford on the inside of of Pla and Sorensen will have the line in the corner, and Sorensen will have to give that one up. They try and squeeze around the inside, but Pla, coming off a win at Petit Le Mans a couple of weeks ago in a prototype. Oh, I tell you what, it's close.
He's got the straight line speed, hasn't he? He really does.
He can't corner like the Ford can. The faster corners, the Ford really likes it. It's going to be turn 18. Here he goes. He's just able to easily place the car down the inside on the first part of the final corner. Panasonic turn at 16. It looked like it was again a problem for Audi and Loic Duval.
Yeah, hearing from Louise down in the pits, just talk about John, but there was a problem with the gun on the rear wheel.
Another 1:29 pit stop. They can't keep giving up 8 seconds.
That effectively will drop them behind.
That's lost them the lead.
Absolutely, right there.
They should have been 20 seconds up the road by now. 30 seconds here. Hello to Chris Suku, trying to listen to us in the airport lounge at Mumbai. Let's go to Toyota.
And please go to Beta 5-3, more fuel flow.
So they're still trying.
That is the other thing they said they were going to try. Now that's going to put Stefan Sarrazan's number 6 Toyota very much on terms with the Audi as well.
Timo.
Okay, Timo, TCS +1. TCS +1 if you manage to clean the tyre.
Don't forget he was off the track, so he's tried to clean the tyres, and now he's just playing with the traction control. This is all coming from the pit wall, trying to help them out. Help the drivers out, give them a little bit of information about how they get the car set up. Bernard leads, 100 minutes to go, Graham. I think it's advantage Porsche right now.
I absolutely do. And that's a very significant part of the advantage they require for the Manufacturers' Championship. And actually,
can they clinch the Manufacturers' Championship?
I'll double check that. I don't think they can, but I'll double check that. But the other point is, of course, it's a massive help to the number 2 Drivers' Championship push.
Yes, because effectively the number 1 car is taking points away from the number 8 if it can get ahead of it. For me would be, if I'm Audi, is I've got one more stop to do. Can I do it on one more stop? Or am I going to have to stop 3 laps from the end or 5 laps from the end and splash? Give me Bernard's now has 2 stops to go. So, looking down at the pit lane just to see what's going on down. We still haven't heard, by the way, anything from the investigation of the Audi's pit stop on lap 139 or whatever it was, and they've done another one since then. So we're going to, I think, assume that there was no further action on that. And what's going on down at Audi.
The answer on the points is going to be quite complex. You can score 44 manufacturers' points for a full race meeting with a perfect race with pole position, first and second position in the race. The gap coming into the race, again taking into account the single point for Audi for pole, was 52 points. So more than a perfect race. We have these points plus 2 others. It's unlikely they can clinch it today. I don't think they can clinch it today if we have an Audi finishing the race. So hour and 37 minutes. Stefan Sarrazin finally gives up the seat. The car now moulded in his image.
Yes.
At the number 6, after another heroic stint, Kaz Nakajima immediately leapfrogs the car and goes into second position. So at the moment, it is Porsche from Toyota and Toyota, Romain Dumas.
Yeah, is ahead of Loic Duval again.
That comes courtesy of that longer pit stop.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what it cost. Here we go. This is number 8, and that is Romain Dumas comes out.
Oh, and he comes out ahead as well.
The 6, but he's going to be behind. He's going to be behind Timo Bernhard.
Well, let's see. 42 and 78. That's Johnny Kane.
Who's back up in third position, by the way.
Kamathi is also in third position in AM. A collision at turn 10 under investigation.
So that was an important run down the pit straight from the number 8 car.
Was it ever?
That got the car back ahead of the 2 Porsche, putting back a lap back on that car, but crucially got the car out ahead of the number 6 Toyota as well.
No, it didn't put a lap back on him yet.
No, you're right, because
Romain Dumas hasn't stopped yet.
But will. 97 Aston Martin is the latest pit stopper in GT Pro, with the sister car just leaving the pit lane.
Yeah.
There we go.
That Aston was in third position when it pitted. So it's not going to be ahead of the Fords, but it could still be ahead of the Ferraris if they've got their numbers right on the fuel.
Antonio steps out. Richie Stanaway therefore steps aboard. 2 driver squads, of course, for these crews. Stanaway back in the car this weekend. Nakajima, Duval, Dumas, Kobayashi, but with pit stop still to play.
The gap between Timo Bernhard and Loic Duval is 118. A good pit stop is 121. And that's stationary in the pit lane. Oh, that's in the pit lane, rather. G-Drive going back to Will Stevens when the 26 car comes in. Alex Brundle.
That was very close indeed with the number 31 ESM car,
which has Pipo Derani at the moment.
Yep, that was the number 6 Toyota taking a dive up the inside.
Kobayashi.
It just was not quite the room there, and it was a very near thing indeed.
Yeah, Louise just talking to me in my ear. Here comes the 26 car, Alex Brundle from the lead of LMP2. A stunning stint.
Brundle from Senna. There's
Brundle from Senna from Kane. Yeah, Brundle from Senna. Very good at Fuji. And there is Will Stevens just ready to go. Out jumps a very famous helmet colour, very similar to his father's. And Alex Alex is out. That's his work done, I would think.
Great stint from Alex. It was an excellent stint from Will Stevens, double stint from Will Stevens.
I've got to tell you, G-Drive, all of their drivers have pulled their weight. Bruce Smith has done the same thing.
Bruno Senna cycles back into the lead for the moment. Johnny Kane, currently third. Will he have time to get through?
Whilst that's going on, a little bit of a struggle on the left front there. While that's going on, Graham, I'm just considering what I was watching there in GTE Pro with the Aston, the 95 Aston. I said that we would have to watch where they were when they took their pit stop. I think Aston are on for a podium here, and Louise has just told me that Ferrari are a bit worried as well. I said to you before that I think they'd been playing a tactic from the start of the race because they didn't think they had the outright lap speed.
So tried this before, it's worked more than once for them. It didn't work at Cota.
No.
It didn't work at Cota because they were caught up by full Courcellos.
But this has been
Don't say it.
Yeah, exactly. 93 minutes to go. Romain Dumas.
Car behind you is 4 position. Do not let them by as easily as the previous car. We have 6 laps to go. Do not use X-ray for turn 1.
Do not use X-ray on turn 1. You can use your laser vision, but not your X-ray.
What about the
Vibration on that car.
What about the one that drops the kind of the spiky things out the back?
Nasty vibration on the onboard there. You normally get a lovely clear picture, but the camera pointing towards Romain Dumas there, nasty vibration. A bit of Michelin rubber being left on the exit of turn 1 into turn 2. Being told that Kobayashi's behind him. You think this is very interesting. But of course Kobayashi has made his pit stop and Dumas has not.
In comes number 5 from second position, Kaz Nakajima.
On time.
Absolutely.
Going back to the pro thing, I think Nicky Team and Marco Sorensen have half a chance of coming in one more time and then stretching their fuel where everybody else has to pit. And I think they've got half a chance here of a sneaky little podium. They're not going to beat the Fords. The Fords are out of sight. And it will be the 67 from the 66. I don't think they'll change those cars around.
Absolutely.
So Andy Priaulx and Harry Tinknell will take the Ford's first 6-hour win and the UK's first win. UK version of Chip Ganassi Racing.
So, meantime, as we're there with just over 90 minutes to go in the race, Europe beginning to wake up. Quite aside from the epic fans that have been up all night to watch this, John. And, you're joining us with a really intriguing race. Kaz Nakajima on pit road for the latest stop for the number 5 Toyota. But all 3 factory teams have been very much in the mix. Problems, though, for the number 7 Audi. We've taken that car out of the race. LMP2 has just been bonkers, to be honest with you. Everybody's been in the race. It's ebbed and flowed a little. Bruno Senna leads that race for the number 43 RGR sports team. But in terms of advantage on track, once this all weaves out, it's the 26 G-Drive team. Will Stevens subbing for Rennie Rast, super subbing for Rennie Rast this weekend, who have the advantage. They're slightly out of sequence. Big lock up there for number 86 Porsche, just missing the rear end of the number 8 Audi as Loic Duval pushes very hard indeed to get back onto terms with Timo Bernhardt. The Audi's pitting earlier than the Porsches as usual, but a slow pit stop for the Audi last time around should keep Timo Bernhardt in the lead when they come round next to
I'm not sure. Kobayashi was a 116.
How did they do that?
Against a 129.
Did they not change all 4 tyres?
Well, you know, Kaz Nakajima.
Can they afford to short fuel it for track position?
123 for Kaz Nakajima. And Romain Dumas is now in third, but has yet to pit. Loic Duval has yet to pit. Timo Bernhardt has yet to pit. Timo can't stay in the lead. He can't stay in the lead. He's only got an hour, and he's only got a minute and 15. Here comes the Porsche from the lead. and pulls into its stop in perfect sunshine with threatening clouds in the distance and ecstatic crowds in the grandstand, and the tall figure of Brendan Hartley fits himself into the cockpit elegantly and is even young and lithe enough to do his old lap belts up, which is quite impressive. Looks at his radio. Lloyd Duval not yet through the second sector. Now he is. So waiting. He's got about another 50 seconds, 47 seconds to come through. Here he comes. It's going to be back in the lead for Audi here, excuse me. Under an hour and a half to go, and the number 8 comes across the line. Now they've stopped the Porsche early to get track position, but they've not stopped him early enough, and he goes back through into the lead. A little bit of a wiggle from the one car. That was the Toyota, excuse me, Kobayashi, and Kobayashi's gone through as well. So Brendan Hartley goes back down to third position. It was the Toyota who stopped early to get track position, exactly as you were saying, Graham.
So slightly short-fueled.
Yeah, that's smart.
Very
smart.
It works, yes.
And this is great news for Audi.
The strategist down at Toyota will be high-fiving around the garage right now. Whatever.
3/10 of a second as they went through.
That's all he needed, and now you can follow me, is what Kobayashi is saying, and be very happy to do so.
One more stop for each of the top cars. Speeding in pit lane for the 45 car, Torgraves.
That's the delayed Manor car.
Yeah, so that's not going
issue earlier.
Right, under an hour and 30 minutes to go. In AM, Joel Camathias is in third position for the 78 Porsche, and they've been bouncing backwards and forwards with the Chevy Corvette. Pierre Rags at the wheel of that at the moment. There's 14 seconds between them. He's got about a minute, a little over a minute, to Francois Perraudot in second place. Yeah, check that. He's got almost, about a minute, and Perraudot's got about a minute to Lauda, who leads in the Aston number 98 in Pro. Ford by 8 seconds between them, 67 from 66, Tinker from Pla. From Jimmy Bruni and Sam Bird, now 17 seconds between the 51 and 71 Ferrari. The joker in the pack, the 95 Aston, that goes very, 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 very long indeed. That's out of fourth position, Romain Dumas, who must have just sneaked back ahead of Kaz Nakajima before he came into the pit lane. Nakajima goes by now, but that is going to drop that car down by, well, almost a lap now. Where is Lloyd Duval now, Graham?
Lloyd Duval is 6 seconds up the road from this pair as they duke it out for second position in fine. Vettel, Kobayashi
and Hartley
is not going to give that position up without one hell of a fight. It's the you don't come into my backyard and do things like that, young man.
No.
A combative driving style as always from Kobayashi, and quite right too. This is a World Championship race.
You watch that whole for the Audi, and I'll tell you what's happening with Romain Dumas. Is he going to lose another lap?
There comes the Audi crossing the line, and now
I can still see Porsche mechanics, I think, working on that car. Yeah, there's a group of people there.
he's on the way out. He's on the way out.
It's going to be close then, and it's also going to be very close indeed as the number 1 comes down to the first corner.
Taking the position onto the start-finish straight.
Yeah.
And now Kobayashi's got to
before the line as well, Graham.
Can't do it there. Tries the inside line here. Is that going to work?
No.
It does. It does.
Around the outside.
He knows where he's got the advantage on power delivery here, John. And worked brilliantly. Well, we thought it'd be close. 8.5 seconds separate the top 3, and it is Audi from Toyota, from Porsche, Duval from Kobayashi and Hartley. 3 different factories, 3 different cars within 9 seconds. An hour and 25 minutes remain.
Oh, big slide by Kobayashi, torturing his rear Michelins there. Now, watch to your right again, Graham, because we're going to see this battle between Neil Janney and Loic Duval as they head back towards us, just ahead of this duo. And will there be a lap put on?
Traffic for the battling Toyota and Porsche.
There's the 2 and there's the 8 going through. There's nothing between them. It was about a second across the line. This is fantastic through the track. 1, 2, 3, 4 wide. And a very slow car coming into the pit lane with the
Corvette.
26. And Will Stevens, the leader in the category LMP2. Well, no, sorry, he's not, is he? Because Bruno Senna's up the road.
Bruno Senna owes us the stop.
Will Stevens was right in the middle of that.
So Kobayashi able to hold his line. Brendan Hartley looking for any half chance of taking position. These guys, though, are beginning to drop back from a charging Loic Duval.
Yeah, but he's got to get by the Porsche, and he's almost with him. He's almost with him as they're heading down towards turn 10.
But the gap for the leader from Kobayashi is coming out. 10 seconds now. Going up lap by lap as these two get engaged in their own battle.
Tipo Durrani's just done that car's best lap of the race in the number 30, 1:33.3.
Well, he's trying to get on terms with Matt Rao ahead.
It's only 7 seconds. Drive-through penalty for the 45 car.
And the Corvette, I'm hearing from Louise down the pit lane, is going into the garage after...
Top 3-4 runner all day. And with an hour and 22 minutes to go, it's been pushed back into the garage.
Again in the 26s for Duval, in the 27s for the chasing pair. It's attention to the rear of the car.
Yeah, it was going very, very slowly into the pit lane.
Gearbox, I think, in the rear of that car. That's not often the case. Diff.
Yes. And there's a drive belt that runs off the back of there to the alternator as well.
Fantastic shot of the battling second place duo coming by the 95 Aston Martin. And a further delay for the Porsche there behind the 86 Porsche of Mike Wainwright. It's given just an edge to Kamui Kobayashi for a moment.
Mike Duval held up in sector 2.
Very much held up in sector 2. Lost 3 seconds.
Yeah, but the problem is he's behind Neil Janney, who's also going slowly. And Neil Janney might be trying to back the leader up here. As into the pit lane comes the 31, Tipo Durrani.
Kaz Nakajima, meanwhile, is flying.
Yeah.
He's now within 17 seconds back from Hartley, and 2 seconds, almost 2 seconds quicker last time around. So the top 4 are 25 seconds apart. Exactly right, John.
2, 8. Right, Duval, that time a 31.2 for Loic Duval last time, and a 29.8 for Neil Janney. Let's have a word with Gustavo Menezes. He's down in the pit lane with Louise Beckett.
Rightly so, you should be putting your feet up after that stint.
Yeah, it was a difficult battle, let's say. You know, obviously the tires are degrading quite a lot, and the car was incredible, and fighting with Bradley was a heck of a fight, but he made my life very difficult, let's just say, and I'd say it was a bit much, but at the end of the day, you know, we both stayed clean, there was no contact, and the race is still continuing, so we'll see where we end up, but everything's coming together all right.
That was quite hefty off. So how was the car running after that?
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure he just released the steering wheel halfway through the corner and just let me run wide. So, again, there was not much I could do, but the car's running fine. There's no issues, and yeah, it was okay.
Thank you.
2 drivers, 2 different points of view.
Absolutely.
I'm surprised it's only 2.
Class leader in the pits, Bruno Senna.
This is his standard stop. He'll lose the lead.
Absolutely gets
Will
it back
Stevens
onto sort of level terms.
Will Stevens and Nico Lapierre, by the way, just 6 seconds apart for first and second now, at 26 and 36, with Johnny Kane just another 1.6. So the top 3 in LMP2 are within 8 seconds of each other. The top 3 in LMP1 are within 8 seconds of each other. And Neil Janney is backing up the leader into the battle.
I'm wondering whether or not the slow lap for Duval. We didn't see it. Maybe involved and attempted to get past Johnny.
Well, Johnny was slow as well. Let's have a listen and maybe get some clue from Loic or the pit lane here.
Nothing to do here. Well, stay cool. You'll get him. You'll get him.
Yeah.
Exactly that.
Yeah.
Went off trying to get by the two.
Apologies for any language there. And Loic Duval not very happy. It's cost him 5 seconds on one lap and a couple of seconds on another. Oh, and only dust from the Audi underneath there.
Dust. It was running wide.
Okay.
That's a very pumped up Loic Duval.
Yeah, he's the leader.
There's, they just see there, the first car on the straight as the Audi joins. That is Neil Jani. He's the 5th place car. This is about a drivers' championship run against those two cars, all being separated by almost a lap.
More team radio. Let's have a listen again to Loic, see if he's calmed down a bit.
Well, you did a good job to keep the nose clean. I saw the traffic was crazy. You'll get it back, okay? Yeah, I have another speaker. Yeah, I can see that.
Big up, he's had to go offline.
Neil Jani, meanwhile, 1:25.664, the fastest lap of the race for that car, as he attempts to defend.
Yeah,
This car lapping him.
Interesting, he was doing 29s for the first 3 or 4 laps to make sure that he got right in front of the Audi then, wasn't he? That just tells you everything you need to know.
Also into the 25s, and now catching the Audi is Kamui Kobayashi. Here we go, 7 seconds dead. To the thousandth is the gap between the top 3. Loic Duval, 190 laps completed for the number 8 Audi, 5.036 seconds. Back to Kamui Kobayashi's number 6 Toyota, with a further 2 seconds back to Brendan Hartley's number 1 Porsche. Into the pits meanwhile for Johnny Kane, in 4th position in LMP2 for the Stracker Gibson. He gets out. Lewis Williamson therefore will get in.
And he'll need one more stop from here.
Absolutely.
Which is going to be, I think, a disadvantage. Roggs, by the way, still in the pits in the 50 Corvette after we saw that car push back into the garage. So the question now is last pit stops, and we get into those in about 25-26 minutes time. That's when we're in the window. Hour and 16 minutes to go, and Loic Duval is clawing his way back now towards the back of Neil Jani.
125 last time around from Loic Duval against the chasing Euro 126s. That's the view.
No hybrid left on the first part of the straight for the Audi at all. He's got nothing. When he crosses the line, he'll get boost, of course. There he goes. Interesting. Now, let's see what Jani does this time. 42 and 78 had a bit of a coming together at turn 10. You remember us telling you about that. There'll be no further action for the Stracker or the Porsche, which is now back on the 3rd place in arm. Both 3rd place in class, by the way, when that happened.
Absolutely. Hour and 15 minutes to go. Just edging away a little at the moment, Loic Duval, but it's ebbing and flowing just a touch. Traffic has been a factor throughout because the attrition rate has been pretty low here this afternoon. Will Stevens back to lead, as John said a little earlier, from Nico Lapierre. Under 7 seconds, the gap, as Loic Duval, by the way, puts in the fastest second sector of the race so far on his lap 193. The pace is as quick as it has been at any point in this race.
And like Duval, it's got half a chance of putting in a new lap record here if he stays clean to the end of this lap in his attempt to chase down Neil Jarney. Needs to get down to a 24.8, and he's going to be pretty close to it here. Put the fastest second sector in of the whole race. The levy traffic here. Here comes, oh my God, a couple of cars as he goes through. 25.8 last time around. Neil Jarney pressing as well, though, into the 40.7. 6.5 seconds between first and second. That's the gap between second and third. Audi, Toyota, Porsche, and Kaz Nakajima still keeping those guys honest, you know.
He is.
126.3. There can be no fumbles in the pits.
Nakajima could very well be part of this. And
He's back at 21 seconds behind Brendan Hartley.
so he's under 30 seconds off the leader.
Yeah, we've got the top four within 30 seconds. That's
Absolutely.
a fair point to make there, Grim. And how many cars have moved from that car park? None. Not a one.
At some point, we need to go and unlock the gates, in fairness.
Well, there was somebody camping in a Prius last night.
There was something camping in
RX.
In fact, people camping trackside all weekend.
It was cold last night here as well. Very cold indeed. They've come well prepared in front of us in the seats right in front of our commentary boxes. They're well wrapped up.
This has been excellent, by the way, from Kamui Kobayashi.
Well, all of the drivers in the head of the field.
Oh, absolutely.
I think this has been outstanding. Toyota using the last of the hybrid power. And we'll get another booster as it goes across the line, which is there. 300 kilometres an hour, near enough, just under 180 miles an hour for the Toyota. I think it's safe to say that everyone seems to be happy with that Audi stop that was under investigation. It's a very, very long time ago. We've heard nothing more. Anxious faces from Ollie Jarvis, who will already feel that he's had a win snatched from his grasp this year from circumstances beyond his control. Crowds beginning to come back in towards the grandstands. They will move down to the opposite the podium because they do like to give the podium ceremonies their very fullest attention here. Well, I've not sat down yet, Grim. I have not sat down doing this race.
It's been great fun thus far.
We get the lovely
the next 70 minutes.
We get the lovely evening light here at this time, and the shadows lengthening now. The colours just deepening a little bit. It's all got a bit Kodachrome.
Absolutely. Looking as well at some of the other point situations as we get towards the final hour. Now, GTR has been a battle that, with the problems we've had for the last couple of races for the 83 Ferrari, have begun to kind of come back in. It's a much stronger run this afternoon for the 83, second position overall at the moment. And on the points, as things stand at the moment for the three main title contenders, looks at the moment as if 83 will go into the final two rounds with 155 points ahead of a new second place car, because the 98 Aston Martin should have enough points to take that second position in the championship with 122 points, so a 33-point gap coming into the final two races of the championship with 52 points available, with the 88 car having a relatively poor run today, falling back with 114. Those three will still be in it. In time, back with the number 8 Audi, Loic Duval, 126.5 last time around, 6.2 seconds is the gap.
Gets 26.0 for Neil Jarney, who seems to be just varying his pace enough to keep the Audi behind him, which is all right. That's fine. He's trying to stay on the lead lap. It's important. Really, Audi should have had that done and dusted. You know, if they got the pit stop right. We still haven't found out why
Audi have lost.
Stop.
I think Audi have lost
30 seconds.
It's not quite. I think it's about 25 over 3 pit stops. So whether or not they've got an equipment problem, whether or not they've got whatever problem they've got, it's 30 seconds. That's, you know, you have to hope from Audi Sports' point of view they don't lose another race to an issue in the pits.
Agreed. Absolutely agree. Still looking at this GTE Pro battle. Ford have got it tied up. Tingnell and Prior on the way to the victory. 9 seconds behind now the teammates. Jimmy Brady 50 seconds further back from Sam Bird's 16 seconds further back from him. It's Nicky Team we've got to keep an eye on.
Yep.
Because how far can Nicky Team go into this race, and where will he come out at the end of the last pit stop?
Well, he is 30 seconds back from third place Jimmy Bruni. That's the gap to watch. It's 30 seconds from the lead of the two Ferraris for a podium for Aston Martin.
Aston Martin will not have to put as much fuel in their last pit stop as anybody else.
Yeah, but the issue is, can they save a stop?
I don't think they can save a stop.
That is the crucial part of it. That's where the big gain is going to be. It's not in 2 or 3 seconds of fuel. It's can they save a splash at the end of this race, which would be, you know, a big advantage and would close that gap right up. Let's wait and see.
Ferrari are worried.
16 minutes. Yeah,
Because
absolutely.
they're pushing.
16 minutes before we know.
Sam Bird just did a 40.3. That's the first time they've been in the 40s for a while. Nicky Team's doing 40.3, 40.6 last time around for Sam Bird. This is starting to get interesting in GTE Pro. In ARM, it's been a brilliant run by the 98 Aston. As we listen to the number 8 Audi.
Okay, look, how are you doing? Can you stay in for another stint? I'm okay, but it depends if I'm quick or not.
How cool is that? Can you stay in for another stint? Yes, I can do it, but it depends if I'm quick or not. There's a team player.
Team.
Team. He wants this win.
Nicky's not the only bloke to have team in his name. There you go.
That is outstanding from Duval. What a team player.
Now back right with Neil Gianni.
Now this is something we'll have to keep an eye on, because Johnny's got to play this cool. Sounded like there was a bit of an altercation between these two cars 5 or 6 laps ago when they were together, more than that.
It certainly took Duval a couple of laps to regain his rhythm, his cool, and get the tyres back to an optimum state.
Yeah, he lost 5 seconds on the lap concerned, and then a couple of slow laps getting his tyres clean. Well, that Audi is certainly looking very impressive. The two cars not had the balance through the race, but it has gained in terms of it's got closer to the other cars during the race. The track has come to it.
We're dealing with advantages or disadvantages in the tenths at the moment. Back to that point in a minute. Let's have a listen to what's going on aboard the number 8 again.
Look, you are by far our fastest driver.
You are playing with my ego now.
I'm not playing with you. It's 5 seconds to the Toyota and 8 seconds to the Porsche.
Lovely, I love it.
You're by far our fastest driver.
He's never liked Olivia Jarvis. He's never liked him.
You're playing with my ego
That's
now.
wonderful stuff. Banter at 200 miles an hour. Banter.
And with a very, very important race victory on the line. Graham, you're talking about this, you know, it is literally half a second or a second a lap is all we're talking about here.
Well, with the exception of Brendan Hartley, who had to pull up with traffic in the 28s, just the lap times last time around for the lead 4 cars. 126.3 for Duval, 126.6 for Kobayashi, 126.7 for Nakajima, 126.5 for Neil Gianni. That's ridiculous. I mean, it is tiny margins, despite the fact that you and I have been talking for almost 5 hours, John, about the relative advantages and disadvantages of these cars at various parts of the track. An open rule book delivers again. Fantastic stuff. Beginning, we will start to lose daylight fairly soon. It's 65 minutes to go. Sunlight, the sun goes down behind Mount Fuji at about 5:15, so 15 minutes after the race finishes. So we'll finish in the grooming.
This is on board with the Audi from slightly further back.
That's a camera view we've not seen before.
Yeah. Shows you just how much is going on in there, how tight that cockpit is, doesn't it? With Duval with about 6 seconds, we're coming up to complete the 200th lap. They expected around about 240, and yeah, we're going to be spot on that. Full green. Now, again, these two very close competitors. Oh, and the Porsche's held up going into 14. 2 cars ahead, including Giovinazzi in the 30. Now Giovinazzi's got to keep his wits about him here. It's one of the Fords as well. 3 wide. Oh, Giovinazzi goes down the inside of the Ford while they're being passed by the leaders. Now, has the Audi got an advantage here that it can play out? This is as close as we've seen them for about 25 minutes. I think Porsche have got to be a bit careful here and a bit clever.
Catching.
Down the inside and go. Yeah, it's done. It's done. The 2 car will have a little nibble around the back end, maybe deploy a bit of power here, particularly through the traffic. Got to be careful though here, got to be clean here. That's the lead car, Harry Tinknell in the Ford in GT Pro. And the number 2 of Neil Janney has done his job. He's on off, got the 66. No way. Second, Ollie Pla. Big spin. That is at the Ford branded corners as well. Now, did he jump or was he pushed? No, it's just coming out of 6 into 7.
What's happened there?
Oh, so close to Brendan Hartley. So close to Brendan Hartley. He basically lost it coming out of the sorry, that's 3 and 4 area. That's coming down the hill. Out of 3 into 4, the Ford branded area. Somebody's going to have a good picture of that for the album.
Lost in 10 seconds there, John, and I'm sure a huge vibration now.
Well, that car doesn't look happy around the back end. Stefan Muck is looking at it. Was there damage to the back of that car? Kobayashi by 3.5 seconds now on Brendan Hartley. Nakajima is still trying to close in, still holding it around about 19-20 seconds. Oh my goodness.
So 62 minutes. And the lead 3, it's just edged over 10 seconds.
We've not talked about LMP2 for a while, Graham.
Let's do that.
Watching that. Stevens leads by 4.3 seconds,
But
who has 8.2 seconds, Lapierre that is, on Senna. Top 3 within 13 seconds.
but the 26 car has had a further pit stop.
Yes.
Therefore has more fuel aboard.
Yes, but still has to be at 1 more before the end. I think the 26 can go with 1 more. And very shortly, the 36 and the 43 will be able to go with 1 more. So they'll all be able to go with 1 more stop. Audi, if they win this, have been not perfect. They have not been perfect here. They've grafted for this one if they do win it.
Say good morning, I think, don't we, to Nico Hulkenberg, who's watching in.
Hello, Nico. Oh, David Ching off the circuit.
Wonder who he's supporting.
Who? Nico.
Yeah, no idea.
I think he'll be supporting Porsche, surely, won't he? Well, he might get his job back now that Mark's heading out. There is the number 1 car, Brendan Hartley, in elegant isolation for the moment. 3.5 seconds behind second place and valuable championship points for Porsche in the Manufacturers' Championship. It could have been a lot worse for Porsche today. The number 2 car has not been on song. It's not been a good second half of the season. It was an awful first half of the season for the number 1 car. It's been a bad second half of the season for the number 2 car. They had 3.5 points going into Le Mans, the number 1 car.
It was something ridiculous like that, and then it's been astonishing run since then.
Well, they have won everything since Le Mans. And
Well, it's 5 hours up, John. Guess what?
It's the last hour of racing. 60 minutes to go. Settle back. Get yourself your favourite beverage. The 7th round of the FIA World Endurance Championship is in Japan at Fuji. And if you are just joining us in the early hours of a Sunday morning breakfast time in Europe, good morning wherever else you are around the world. Hello there and welcome along to a race that is far from complete, a race that is far from allowing us to make any conclusions about what might happen when it's complete. For the moment, Lloyd Duval leads by 6.7 seconds. The number 8 Audi is ahead of the number 6 Toyota. And then it's 3.7 seconds back to third place, which is Brendan Hartley. The top three are separated by 10 seconds, with Kaz Nakajima 20 seconds further back for the number 5 Toyota. So the top four separated by half a minute after 5 hours of racing. Two big stories in this race in LMP1 Hybrid. The number 7 Audi, big issues in the first hour with the motor generator unit at the front of the car, which took that car out of contention after just 17 laps of racing. It did come back out again and did another 18 laps after a fix from the Yost Audi mechanics that included disconnecting and removing the front drive shaft. That car showing astonishing pace in the hands of Marcel Fessler, but a query from Audi to the technical stewards resulted in the stewards informing Audi that that car was not legal, not as homologated, and therefore would not be classified if it continued to race. Audi having no choice then, obviously, but to withdraw the car from the race. The other big story is the number 2 Porsche and the lack of pace of that car. It has not been a contender at all in the battle, and it will pick up 5th place points unless anything befalls the problems ahead of them, and that is the championship leaders, of course, in the Drivers' Championship. In GT Pro, it's been all about Ford. Olivier Pla has just pitted from 2nd position after a spin, leaving Harry Tincknell in the lead, but that will be that car's final stop, so they've got into the window for the final stop as soon as possible to get those tyres off, I would have thought, Graham.
Absolutely.
In LMP2, I really don't know. I really don't know. It should be G-Drive, but the Alpine 36 and Bruno Senna in the 43 have pushed them all the way. Stella Lana in the 98 in ARM, by the way. So let's catch you up on what's been going on if you are just joining us. Sunshine throughout the race, a little bit of overcast in the middle. Ollie Jarvis started from pole. Really nice slow start, and then released that energy down towards turn 1. Looked like the 2 Audis might be 1st and 2nd at the end of the first corner, but they weren't. Trelliway backing out of that. Pretty good job as Mark Webber got a little tap from the Toyota on the inside. Behind them, watch the carbon fibre fly as the 2 privateers got together. And further back behind them was the Alpine going wide that stacked up the cars behind it and caused the concertina effect all the way back into the GT ranks. The first hour or so had all of the 3 manufacturers leading. The Audi from pole, and then on the pit stop rotation, the 2 other manufacturers. But here's the turning point of the race, when the number 7 wouldn't turn because of an issue at the front end. It went back into the garage, and then the fix brought it back out again, subsequently withdrawn. Audi asking the question of the technical stewards, and they're saying it was not eligible to continue racing. So then the LMP2s took centre stage, and for a good couple of hours in the middle of the race we had side-by-side racing, with at one stage 2nd all the way down to 6th in line astern, and sometimes side-by-side, sometimes trading a little bit of paint as well. Seemed like the 43 RGR car was right in the thick of everything. It's a little more cut and dried in GTE Pro. Behind the 242 drove away. Arm battles going on. And with Khaled Al-Kabaisi just misjudging his braking. Mike Wainwright, the unlucky bystander. Meantime in LMP2. Oh yeah, it's the 43 again. Great run from the Stracker, by the way. Running in the lead with Lewis Williamson and Johnny Kane driving as just a duo. Slipstreaming battles are plenty down the long straight here with very evenly matched LMP2 cars. The drivers slinging them around as if they were arrive and drive carts on a day out with your friends. Not always quite friendly enough. Richard Bradley and Gustavo Menezes went wheel to wheel. Gustavo not overly happy about being eased off onto the dirt, but just about, I think, on the right side of the rule book. The different strengths and weaknesses of the three hybrid teams being exploited and taken advantage of, as really we've had some of the best racing in the first 5 hours of this race that we've seen all year, and that is saying something in this championship. Paul Dalla Lana, along with Matthias Lauda and Pedro Lamy, have dominated the GTE AM category. Ford have dominated GTE Pro. And at the moment, Will Stevens is holding on to a 3-second lead. The 26G drive over the 36 championship leading 36 Alpine. And that's how we got to Loic de Valpine, 7.8 seconds ahead of the field, and there he is.
Absolutely, Brennan Hartley beginning to come back at Kobayashi at the moment, but traffic has been such a factor. We thought it might be here, but it's such a factor here. Quick times coming in as the GTM cars make their final stops. Wolf Hensler putting in the quickest time of the number 78 car in third.
Let's have a listen to Dr. Ulrich. I'm sure not happy about the 7 car, but must be biting his nails about the number 8.
Well, Ollie Jarvis is potentially going to get back into the car, so we're going to speak to Dr. Ulrich in this final hour. It's bittersweet, really, with the 7 and the 8, but the 8 is performing fantastically.
I mean, it's a pity that this 7 couldn't continue, but we have this take to take. The car number 8 is running until now a very good pace, and we managed more or less all the time to be a little bit ahead, but we always see that it is very, very tight. We've never been more, I think, than 8 seconds in front, which is really, really, really a very small difference. And our main issue is that we know that because of the smaller fuel reservoir that we have at the very last pit stop, we have to refuel longer than the others. So we need an advantage. If not, there is no way to make it, but we fight.
There's been quite long pit stops for the Audi, so is this one going to be shorter?
I mean, we have to refuel now longer than the others, so for sure our last pit stop will be longer than any other one.
Thank you.
Was that a misunderstanding, or was that Dr. Ulrich avoiding the obvious points? It has been very clear from where we've been looking at the timing and scoring screens that the number 8 Audi crew have not managed to turn around the car as quickly as the other factory teams pretty consistently. Let's have a listen to what's going on with Toyota.
I'll come back to that in a minute. This is Kamui Kobayashi, who's driving brilliantly, 8 seconds behind the leader.
We just will have to choose between keeping these tires and have the track position ahead, or change the tires with half quali set and half scrub set on the other side.
Half a quali set and half a scrub set. So they remember that car has done one side only. The point that Dr. Ulrich is pointedly making here, let's hoping Dunn comes into the pits in the number 35 Baxi DC car in front of us, is it takes them longer because of the balance, the equalisation of technology, to fill their tank with less fuel than the others use.
Correct.
Because diesel is more efficient, they get better mileage, and they're penalised for that because they've got a bigger engine and use less hybrid energy. And part of that penalised equalisation of technology is the fill takes longer.
Correct.
And that is the point that he is making pointedly and deliberately there, because they have always felt that having a more efficient internal combustion engine is being penalised by the regulations.
Well, not going to tell you where I know this from at the moment, but I believe that Audi are targeting a 12-second gap for their last stop. At the moment, it's just edged over 9 seconds, and that's come because there's been, I think, a traffic-enforced reduction in pace from both the chasing pair. But it's 9 seconds to the Toyota. You know what? It's 12 seconds to the Porsche. Well, that could be interesting. What does that tell you? That if they were forced at this point to come in for the stop, and here they come, then that is advantage Toyota, not Porsche.
I don't think they have much choice that they come in now, because they can only go about 50 minutes. So they're trying to get in now. Now, does Ollie Jarvis get in, or does Loic Duval stay in? We heard them saying to the driver, he's the fastest, he's staying in.
He's staying in.
He's staying in. Now, next question, tyres or no tyres? Because it's going to be fuel, and the fuel is going to be long.
Tyres are ready.
Oh, they're new tyres. They've saved a set of new tyres for the end. Well, well, well. Brand spanking new.
Watch the time of this pit stop. That is going to be the critical factor here.
It's going to be all 4 tyres, Graham. It has to be. How long is this fuel taking?
So if you're watching, I've no doubt Porsche are too. Continues to go to work.
So they had to wait there until everybody else was done. Only allowed a certain amount of people over the line at one time. Right, there's nothing wrong with that. So that pit stop was spot on.
Absolutely right.
So let's see what the time is as Loic Duval comes out. That's the last pit stop for Audi, number 8, and he comes out. I should have run a watch on it myself, but we will get it. And comes out of the pit stop. 125.
Much better.
125.
Through to complete the lap comes the number 6 Toyota. So will not be a lap put on the Audi.
No, and that is significant, Graham, just in case anything should happen with the safety car.
48 minutes remain of what has been a gripping 6-hour race so far, John.
Be unusual to get a safety car here. Still an opportunity for a full course yellow. This could still be snatched away from Audi at this point. And now Toyota have got to decide what they're doing. Sarrazin with Alexander Wirth standing behind him. How are we going to do this, guys, and what are we going to do? Now, they haven't got new tyres. They have not got new tyres for the Nakajima car.
They've got the sniff of a whiff of a chance of a possibility, and that's what's putting smiles back on Toyota faces.
But they're talking about not putting any tyres on at all.
Absolutely.
Or they're going to put an unmatched set on.
No, I think they were talking about what they were going to change to.
No, he said, do we not change the tyres and take the track position, or do we put a set, half a set from qualifying and half a set of scrubs on?
The issue
They've got no new tyres.
How deep into the remaining 47 minutes can they go? Because that's going to be a critical part of the decision for them.
How much fuel do they need to put in?
Correct, and not just that, John. How far do they need to go on tyres that are already used? That's the point.
Good point. Yeah, in terms of... but now, what Loic Duval's got to do now is get the absolute best out of those tyres while they're new.
Absolutely
and
right.
He's got to start putting in some extraordinarily quick laps.
Kobayashi, meanwhile, of course, back to the lead. 125.6 for Kobayashi, 125.7 for the chasing Brendan Hartley. The gap is 2.4 seconds. Nakajima goes through to third position.
Crucially, Loic Duval is out ahead of Neil Jarney. And that means he doesn't have to try and pass the Porsche again. Now that is something that's important,
because of the pace in the latter part of that last stint from Loic Duval.
Yeah.
In comes the LMP2 leader, Will Stevens.
Yeah.
And in two comes the 51 Ferrari from
the lead,
of course, Jimmy Bruni.
Last stop for that car.
And if there's
Prio's made his last stop, Nuka's made his last stop, Mickey Team has not made his last stop.
Andy Prio, by the way, is just half a second back from Sam Bird, with Sam Bird still owing as a stop.
Correct.
So effectively, Ferraris are a stop behind.
Correct.
On the length of time of a stop behind.
Correct.
Will Stevens staying aboard that car. Did we see a driver change?
No, negative. Will Stevens has been in for all 6 hours. feels like it sometimes.
I'm going to say this right here and now. I think this has been Will Stevens' best sports car race yet.
Yep.
By a distance.
Oh.
Go, go, go.
Oh my goodness. Everybody's hearts in their mouth there. Down at G Drive.
You look in the encyclopedia and the commentators kill us.
Duval's just broke the lap record, 24.6. Exactly what he had to do. Exactly what he had to do. 1:24.6 on lap 212 with a load of rubbish on the track, with the light fading, with the pressure on, with full tanks to go to the end. He's broken the lap record.
289.5 kilometres an hour through the time. From the speed trap.
That's extraordinary. Exactly.
And he's going again, Sean.
He's going again. The faith put in him by the engineers, by Dr. Ulrich and Audi Sport, absolutely being repaid now. Duval. Now this will make the others sit up and take notice. What are Toyota going to tell Kobayashi?
Boxy slap for speed confirm, boxy slap for fuel only.
Fuel only. Game on.
They realise they can't leave it any longer if they're only going to do fuel, because Duval is just driving the wheels. Took 2 seconds off everybody that lap. Another 2 seconds this time at 24.6. Like Duval is absolutely flying.
Wow. In comes Kobayashi now.
This is the turning point of the race, particularly for second. It could be for the lead. He'd probably come out in the lead, or at least ahead of the Audi. Brendan Hartley for the moment will lead. Now what are Porsche going to do?
Porsche go through, of course, to lead. Brendan Hartley leads. It's fuel only, as we heard.
Now what are they telling Brendan?
7 laps, Brendan.
7 laps.
Wow. Now that's if they choose to go.
25.6 last time around. That's not so bad, but he's got to do them all like that.
It means a short fuel flow for fill for them, but what state are his tyres in?
Well, they're going to have to put tyres on him. I think they can't let him go to the end on this. Well, maybe they can't. Maybe they can't. So Nakajima is out. Kobayashi has pitted from behind his teammates, and there will be no Audi in sight here as he comes out. So that, for the next 7 laps, is second. Now Mark Webber talking to Andre Seidler there, and he's saying Toyota have worked a flanker there, mate. Here comes the number 1 of Brendan Hartley.
60 seconds dead for that pit stop for Toyota.
Right, so they have leapfrogged Duval by something in the region of 14 seconds.
But Duval has got brand new tyres.
Yes. Now, the question is, where does Brendan Hartley come back out in 7 laps' time? And how much do Kobayashi and Duval hold themselves up by battling for the lead? Which it will be shortly. Kobayashi already down and away, by the way. Kobayashi was fuel only as well. Excuse me, Nakajima has gone through and still owes us a pit stop.
Correct.
So there's Brendan Hartley leading with 1 more pit stop to go in now 5 laps time. Toyota, well, you wouldn't begrudge them the win on home ground, would you?
Oh no. No, they've worked really, really hard through, well, you have to say, adversity after Le Mans, and then finding that they really have had to squeeze everything out of their aero pack that really did not produce the results they expected at the Nürburgring, and they were downhearted after that race, but since then have battled back. Cracking stuff, this.
Go back on board and listen to the team radio. This is Toyota number 6.
And we go to the end, 30 laps, push hard on the tires. Sum it up. 30.30, and Duval went on new tires. Audi 8 is on new tires.
Right, 30 laps, they say, to the end. Yeah, if that goes to the end, and Feta, John, that will be a record distance here.
Yeah, 2:46 by some margin. Half a minute between Hartley and Nakajima in seconds, with Nakajima not able to close. Hartley took a second out of him last time. It was about 20 seconds. It's now 27 seconds between the 1 Porsche and the 5 Toyota. The 5 Toyota is, if you like, the backup. That is the car that will clean up if everything else goes wrong.
40 minutes remain.
This is the battle that you were talking about earlier on, with Sam Bird
holding it off,
desperately trying to hold off Andy Prior. But this might benefit Nicky Team when all comes to all, who's yet to make his last stop.
Stefan Mucker right with Nicky Team.
Yeah. And that'll be an interesting battle as well.
It's a Porsche being held up in traffic.
That's the number 1 car. Brendan can't afford that.
25.6 last time around for Brendan.
4 to go for Brendan before his last stop.
And it's a 26.9. That did hold him up.
Yes, massively. Duval, 25.2. Oh my goodness me. And now he's only 11 seconds behind Kobayashi.
Of course, still has to pit. No, he doesn't. No, sorry,
it's Nakajima that has to pit.
Apologies.
Yeah, it's all right. So that's a real battle. Kobayashi and Duval is a real battle with 11 seconds, 10 and a half, 11 seconds between them. Nakajima, 30 seconds further up the road. He's got a pit stop to make. He will drop down. The key thing there is he will get in front of Neil Jani with his pit stop. He should be able to get ahead of Neil Jani, and that's not good news for the championship leaders as far as the Drivers' Championship is concerned.
Absolutely not. We'll come back to that one towards the end of the race.
Brendan Hartley now, I reckon staying into the end of the race, and it's down to Porsche how long his last stop is, because they will time his fuel and they will decide whether he needs tyres or not.
Correct. The longer we go,
the less fuel he needs, and the less time he has to be out there on worn tyres.
Correct.
Right, now LMP2, this is not over yet either.
Here comes the 45 car again. That's the delayed car from earlier. That's out of it.
Bruno Senna leading at the moment, but we're waiting for his last pit stop, as with Will Stevens. And as with Nico Lapierre, Stevens and Lapierre have done their last pit stops, excuse me. 2.6 seconds between those, so Bruno is going to have to give up that lead. Because he's quite a decent amount of time ahead, so that could, if that's a splash.
No, he will. No, he will. If he's
got a minute plus, mate.
He was close, wasn't he?
He's got a minute plus, yeah. Lewis Williamson, 32 seconds further back. If he can go at the end, he might yet be on a podium for Straka. Here is number 5 in the pit lane for Kaz Nakajima.
And what will they do with this car? Tyres are ready.
Which is the better placed Toyota in terms of the Drivers' Championship?
It's the 6, I think.
Yeah, okay. So that's working for Toyota in terms of which car is in the right position.
Absolutely.
Audi only have the one, but it happens to be the right one.
Here comes Kobayashi.
Kobayashi passes us now and goes into second place.
Duval is how far back?
Andy Davidson getting into the 5. Here's Duval. He'll get down to the first corner before Andy Davidson, as it will be, rolls in the 6 car.
Takes another second out of the number 6 car.
Yeah, but only 4/10 out of Hartley. Wow, this is going to be close when that Porsche stops, mate. I reckon Duval, the problem for Duval is going to be Kobayashi. The problem for Duval is going to be Kobayashi, not Hartley.
It's all to be about
all three of them are going to be really, really close together.
Hartley needs a clean run to his final stop.
Stanaway has just put the fastest lap of the race in for the 97 Aston Martin, 39.4. That's not hanging around.
And is continuing to go quicker.
Yes.
Bird, meanwhile, has pitted and has emerged in 5th position with Nicky Team still having us a stop.
Yes, but Nicky Team's not got enough. Not quite got enough in hand. Can he split? Can he split the Ferraris? Maybe. Kaz Nakajima out. Let's have a listen to Lloyd Duval.
Okay, like 11 seconds. 11 seconds. The Porsche is just about to stop.
Yeah, he is. Well, this is a battle royale here. battle royale.
Sun is beginning to go down behind the mountains behind us, John, painting very pretty pictures on the mountains beyond. Will that add another factor? Temperature will tumble here.
What do you reckon? I don't think Porsche have got any new tyres left. Six sets, remember, from the start of qualifying to the end of the race.
Here comes the Porsche.
Has to come now.
Down the pit lane.
This is it then. Here's the race right here. 35 minutes to go. Round 7, FIA World Endurance Championship. Fuji, Brendan Hartley. Going to take a little drink. But no, he's getting out. Hartley's getting out. Well, that would suggest to me they're going to put tyres on it, Graham.
Yes.
Hartley is getting out. Mark Webber is going to be given the job of bringing the car home.
Tyres are ready.
Now, so have they got new tyres left for the 1?
The 6 and the 8 are in the final sector.
8 seconds only between Kobayashi and Duval. Mark Webber is going to be set on full attack mode.
This is going to go out.
Yes, but is he going to get new tyres?
They're not new tyres.
Are they? Hard to see from that one. Need to see the one that comes over this side. He might have 2 scrubbed and 2 news there, but I think they look like going across the line. There is the Toyota, and in the background the Audi is coming through past us now. The Porsche leads. It's going to drop in a second. It's going to be very close indeed. Where's the Audi? Still coming down. The Audi's got the pace. Just goes through now. Stays on the racing line. And Mark Webber coming out. Luis is down there in the pitch. Was that 2 scrubbed and 2 new or 4 new onto Mark Webber's car, Lou?
I am afraid I can't tell you. I saw the new ones going on at the end of that pit stop.
Yeah, definitely new on the left-hand side.
Scrubbed on the right. I think they were scrubbed.
Okay.
So, 33 minutes to go. 6-hour race. All sorts of things up in the offing here, John.
Completely different strategies.
Absolutely.
Again, all the way to the end.
Magnificent stuff. We'll call this when we clear. The 3 cars have cleared the next sector. Kobayashi leads the race.
It's going to be by about 8 seconds.
It's 8.5 seconds from Loic Duval.
And about 4.5 seconds further back.
4.4 seconds back for Mark Webber. 12.9 seconds separate the top 3. 25 seconds separate the top 4. But fourth at the moment is Yanni, because he's not stopped.
Yeah, he's going to drop back.
So Davidson is 47 seconds behind because they did take tyres.
Yeah.
So this is all
Davidson
about who got it right. Put the tyres on for the Audi. Don't put the tyres for the Toyota.
Kobayashi's gone through past us. Here comes Webber, Duval. There's Duval 8.9. There's no change. In fact, actually, lost a couple of tenths that time.
Traffic for the Audi in sector 3.
And Webber closes in a couple of tenths on the Audi. This is all going to be about traffic.
32 minutes remain.
Oh my goodness, Toyota could be stealing this one. Toyota could be stealing it. They've got track position, and that's what counts right now.
Bruno Senna, meanwhile, continues to lead the race. In comes Yanni now from 4th.
So he's going to drop out of contention.
He'll certainly drop behind Davidson.
Yes.
Which is
now, where is he going to come out on the track?
It's important in terms of the Drivers' Championship. Then you're right, it's then about where he's come on track. He should, depending on what they do now, if they're sensible in terms of track position, they'll leave the tyres on. Because he might make it out before the leader.
Yes, he might make it out before the leader. No, there's tyres going on. He can't afford to take chance and have a puncture, although he'd be classified at this point.
Still waiting, by the way, for the final LMP2 stop for the leader.
Yeah.
It's 54 seconds is the gap to Will Stevens.
But 4 seconds between second and third, which will become first and second. Or will it? Because how quickly can they turn that Ligier around in RGR? Oh, heavens. One slip, one mistake.
This is the team game. 31 minutes.
16 seconds between the 2 Fords, by the way. Andy Prio, MBE, and Harry Tinknell, Stefan Mucker, and Ollie Pla. Just 7 seconds ahead of Nicky Team. And Sam Bird finding pace in the Ferrari at 38.9 from Sam. That's that car's fastest lap of the race.
Absolutely. They're trying to fend off the potential threat for Aston Martin.
Yes, they are, because Nicky Team's going to do a splash and go.
Here comes one of the Aston Martins. That is the 95 car.
That's the 95 car. So the last stop with 30 minutes to go.
To call the pit entry aggressive would be another statement. It was like being mugged outside a pub on a Saturday night.
Right.
Driver change. Marcus Sorensen will get aboard the car.
Kobayashi goes through 26.3. Duval 25.6, under 7 seconds. In comes the RGR Sport team, and here's their pit lane.
50 flat for fuel only. 50 flat for fuel only will be right short.
And Bruno Senna has been given the job to bring this home. They've got tyres there in case, and they are new tyres.
They said fuel only,
but they're having a good look. The Dunlop technician gives the thumbs up. Thumbs up. He's happy with the tyres.
There goes the leader. Meanwhile,
right, watch for the P2 cars coming through. You're looking for the 26 and the 36. They're only 4 seconds behind them. The bright orange has not come into sight. I've not seen it yet. I've still not seen it. They might get this 43 car turned around. It's on the straight now. Senna's going to be down towards the first corner.
Senna is going to be in the lead of this race.
Oh my goodness, what a tactical piece of genius from RGR. Look to the right hand side. It's going to be tight, Graham, but he's done it.
That's the lead.
He's done it. Senna's got warm tyres. He should be able to defend here.
It's less than
first and second.
Wow.
First and second in LMP2.
30 minutes to go, and it's seconds still for the overall top
look
three.
at how much that means. The top three are separated by 6 seconds. 6 seconds in the top three in LMP2. 11 seconds in the top three in LMP1.
What a magnificent sports car race
this is what happens when you go green flag. People get the long runs. People get the tactics to have to play out.
Here comes the Stracker car.
That'll take them out of a potential podium.
Caught the wrong side of strategy, I'm afraid. A great run from them. As Will Stevens looks for a way by Bruno Senna. Look at the intensity on display here. Absolutely gripped to it.
That is the battle for first and second. Bruno Senna and Will Stevens. I mean, you could not wish for two better drivers to be battling this out. And if you look a little bit further back, you might just see the blue of the Alpine.
The Alpine is not out of this.
Of Nico well, certainly not. In fact, there's the Alpine just coming out the final corner now.
Absolutely.
Oh my goodness. Ligier versus Oringer versus Alpine. Top three. And here comes the battle for the lead. He forces him off the circuit. Pushes him right off the circuit. There's nearly a touch. Aggressive driving from both these young chargers. Will Stevens wouldn't allow himself to be intimidated. And he goes through. Well, that is amazing stuff.
Just held the Ligier in that turn. Did it early.
Oh, he's got really dirty tyres from being on the rubbish offline. Senna pushed him right towards the wall. Don't like to see that.
This is potentially a first win of the season, astonishingly, for the G-Drive team. A third for the RGR Sport team.
Look at that low sun as well, Graham. That's an issue as well.
Nico Lapierre will be... Look, there he is. There's the third place car as well.
Nico Lapierre is the blue car with the headlights behind. It does seem as though that Oringer has something on the straights over the Ligier. But can Senna get close enough to use the drag?
Lead gap, by the way, while we're watching this, I'll keep calling that for you, John. 7.1 seconds now, Loic Duval, Mark Webber, a further 4.7 seconds back.
Philip Lane, multi-class racing at its best. Can we have another 6 hours?
Magnificent.
Patrick says the fastest 6 hours of my life. Well, what about the next 26 minutes, Patrick? You better take a deep breath now. Oh, G-Drive. Well, tactically absolutely perfect for Senna's team. There's not a chance, is there, that Ligier can hold on to the Oringer in a straight line. Massive advantage for that car.
It has been at times, hasn't it? But goes deep into the braking area. Here comes Nico Lapierre.
Lapierre, actually, the quick quickest of those cars by some margin last time around. Over a second
Because
quicker.
they've both got filthy tyres.
Yeah, good point.
And behind him is the number 5 Toyota.
Yeah, that's Davidson, who's 37 seconds away from the podium, and Ant Davidson doesn't need any more encouragement than that.
Nico Lapierre, ex-Toyota factory driver, of course.
Loic Duval took 0.8 of a second out the leader. I think, I'm not sure that's enough. I really am. It's through the speed trap, 303 kilometres an hour for Kobayashi, 291 for Duval, but this time when he's held up,
about 188 miles an hour, 303.
Yeah, by the way, we have had a 200 mile an hour run from the Rebellion. They've been peppering that 314, 318, 320 clicks. It's this bit here I don't like. There.
Well.
I don't like seeing people. That's off the track, that is.
Yeah.
The white line is off the track.
I do wonder whether or not there might have been a warning there. Either way,
Thank goodness no one was coming out the pit lane.
should say, by the way,
That's why that white line's there.
I've heard that the tech system has actually had a message from the race director to say it's fine, the radio is working, he's just got nothing else to tell them.
He said, I can't think he said anything until he said, start the formation laps.
24 minutes to go, 9.5 seconds. Loic Duval has lost some time on that lap.
The RGR Sport tyres are gone. Playing with the traction control on the steering wheel.
At this moment, it's advantage Kamui Kobayashi.
Absolutely is. But just at this moment, Graham, that could change. It could swing back. One dozy back marker. Two drivers having their own battle. There you go, the 26. Overtaking outside the track limits. He's all four wheels off the track at that point. And he runs into the pit lane. Now, you could, rightly, and if I'm G-Drive's team manager, I'm going, hang on a minute, he was pushed there by Senna.
Yeah.
But he's off the track.
Yep.
And you can't advance your position when you're off the track.
That's why I'm glad I'm not a race director.
Yep.
26 from 43 from 36 from 4th position. Richard Bradley pits the 44 Manor. Giovinazzi goes ahead.
He goes there, he stays there, he's on the hatching, he's in the pit lane at that point because he's on the right hand side.
Now, tellingly, it's car 26 that's under investigation only.
Yeah, that's interesting. That's interesting. I thought they might have looked at both of those.
Well,
Alex Brundle trying not to give anything away. Roman Rusnov has gone away and come back. Yeah, that's good. Exactly what they need to do for the cameras. Yes, we were pushed there. And what we needed was a message from Will Stevens saying, I'm being pushed off the track, I'm being pushed off the track.
being told, by the way, from Slade Perrins, good evening, good morning, good afternoon, whichever it is in Australia, the 43 hit the bollard on pit entry when it came in for that, pretty hard.
Really?
So I thought it was an aggressive entry, very aggressive. Meanwhile, Loic Duval back down to business, the gap back down to 8.1 seconds, 125.6 against 126.8, takes a second out of Kobayashi again, 22 minutes to go, and it's not done, 11.1 seconds. Car 26
reverse the
must
position.
give the position back to car 43.
Reverse the position.
If you were going to give a penalty, that's the right one to do
absolutely,
right now.
Absolutely, no drive-through, it's redress, do it and do it now. And give us 20 minutes of racing.
Thank you, race director, for that.
Hang on, here we go.
26, tell your driver to give the position back to car 43. Team manager, car 26, tell your driver to give the position back to car 43.
Yeah, okay. If that's the decision you've made, then I think that's the right decision.
So what's going to happen here? Where are we? He is 2.5 seconds up the road from them. He's going to have to lift off and let that go. Whereas this could be advantage Nico Lapierre.
Of course it is. He's going to keep his foot down and say, he can't catch me. he's going to need to stand this up at some stage. He's going to stay on the racing line. If you're the 26 car, you stay on the racing line, keep your tyres clean. Let him have to go around you and go off the racing line. Nico Lapierre is being told at this very moment they're going to have to swap around. So get your foot down, son, because you might be able to take advantage of this.
1 minute, gap is down for the lead of the race overall, 6.3 seconds. Quick lap from Duval, a slower lap, 27 from Kimiko Kobayashi. Slower, I'm not talking.
Yeah, but it's a one-shot lap around doing the 27.0, mate. In anything.
Not made 3 minutes 27.
Couldn't do it in an hour and 27, I wouldn't have thought. Lapierre, look how cool, calm and collected he is. The relaxed look of a man just doing his job, going about his work, and the lack of movement, not throwing the car around, not moving his head around.
Conservative.
Yeah,
and that's what it needs to be here.
Brilliant stuff.
He doesn't want to get involved in what's going to be a wheel-banging finish.
Kobayashi badly held up there, but Duval's caught some traffic behind him as well. 6.6 seconds the leader. How long are they going to give them to give that back? 3 laps?
I'd have said so.
Oh, there's somebody else off the track. Who's that? That's the 31 going past us in the pit lane entry. Now that is really a
position. That was for position. That was Durrani going past Williamson.
Durrani going past Williamson for position, and he was in the pit lane entry and ran across the red and white.
Big check
this.
Number 8.
I thought I saw that behind the leader. Big flash of the lights as they go across the line this time. Kobayashi has gone through, 6 seconds dead.
That was a 27 from all 3 of the leading cars last time around.
Andy Davison's still trying, you know.
Weber just dropping back a little, 10th by 10th by 10th from this battle. It's equidistant now, first to second, second to third, by 5.9, 5.8 seconds. So it goes by the Rebellion. Still running in 6th position, by the way. Matteo Tuscher has been wheel of 13 cars. It's been a very good run from those guys.
Error-free, incident-free.
6 laps ahead of the LMP2 leader.
And they are 14 laps off the lead. 13 laps off the lead. So still waiting for that. That's the World Endurance Manufacturers Championship as it stands right now. Porsche 263, Audi 212, Toyota 174. As it stands right now.
It's still a 2.5 second gap between first and second cars in LMP2. That has not closed. That will not amuse the race director.
No. Will Stevens is going to have to. He'll get black flag for a drive-through if he doesn't do it, and that will lose him a podium. If he gets a drive-through, it will lose him a podium.
Just to point out that is Oliver Jarvis sitting down. Alan Binish is standing up there next to him.
Very good. 5.7. Well, I wonder if they're going to leave him out there and fight this out afterwards.
Well, we can see it's race control from there, can't we? Actually, we can't. We've got the lines closed.
Probably just as well.
I did see a chair being thrown.
No, absolutely not. There's the 13, just being passed by Mark Webber.
I think we can say at this stage it is a fight between the top 2. Mark Webber is not responding to the pace of the 2 ahead of him at the moment. He's dropping back a little. Now
Bruno Senna's gone through.
Changed.
Bruno Senna's gone through, and there is the confirmation visually.
Here comes the leader behind this pair. There's got to be the second place car behind this pair needs to get through this pair very quickly indeed. Deals with the G-Drive car.
Nicely done, and fair play to Will Stevens there. Oh my goodness. There it was, the pass round the outside of the 100R. Did have to put them offline. That's exactly the right thing to do.
Lost about half a second for Duval at that point. It was under 6 seconds, and now powers off down the road, and that I think has allowed a little bit of a close-in from that side. So it's the 2 cars.
It's Neil Johnny who's actually got a bit of pace in that car now. Yeah, and he might be able to unlap himself, and that would actually maybe not. because he doesn't want to, you don't want, if you're Duval, you do not want that Porsche sniffing around your rear aerofoil.
Right, 16 minutes to go, 5.8 seconds, Kobayashi to Duval.
Who wins LMP2? 'Cause I'm going to say Lapierre or Giovinazzi if these two
Giovinazzi's too far back, but it's about a fired-up Will Stevens, a fired-up G-Drive squad. Bruno Senna really will want to win this one. A third win in prospect for the 43 crew. It's a first win for the G-Drive crew. They'll be gutted if they miss out like this. It's certainly not one I think Lou's going to want to get on air from Roman Rusinov if this one goes down like this. It's 1.1 seconds. Lapierre not challenging at the moment, but was quicker last time around because of that overtake. He's catching Will Stevens, not catching Bruno Senna. Stevens back up to speed now though, and pacing. There's a very unimpressed Roman Rusinov. 15 minutes, 6 seconds dead now. It's ebbing and flowing by 10th here and a 10th there.
I don't think, unless did Kobayashi get tyres?
Kobayashi didn't get tyres. And a bit of an off as well there for the 26 car, pushing very hard indeed, Will Stevens. But
watch out for track limits there as well. Oh, look at the tyre debris being thrown around. I'll come back to the leaders in just a second.
16 minutes to go, Bruno. 16 minutes to go. We are in a good position. We need to avoid any contact and we need to finish in front of the Alpine with the main goal.
Yeah, that basically says no contact. I read that as if you get risk losing the lead, give him it.
Yeah. What I'm going to say about Kobayashi is he's all right at the moment, and I think he's got enough in hand if his tyres are okay.
They seem to be 26s, 25s. It's 10ths at the moment. It's not chunks of time anymore.
No, because Duval's tyres will have now flattened out into the middle of their run, and they're not new anymore. But the worry is if Kobayashi's tyres fall off a cliff. Typically Michelin's don't do that. The added help for Toyota and for Kobayashi at the moment is the sun's gone, and it's getting cooler.
14 minutes. And nerves jangling. If anybody looks more relaxed at the moment, it's almost like Felipe Albuquerque is sitting there with some popcorn, isn't it? But he's not. He's listening to the radio very intensely. Still 6 seconds dead is the gap. Mark Webber, a little way back from the battle. 28s last time around.
Alex Skoubis, Lownsley's car, and many others talking about the redress there. Well, much better executed than Jamie Whincup.
Just a touch.
Yeah.
Here comes Stevens, by the way. Now
this is on.
They've heard what they've From's been told.
Put some pressure on him and he'll give you the place. Except it's Bruno Senna.
And he's not going to want to do that. Don't risk the contact, is what he said. The main aim is to do with the third place car, which is the car in championship contention.
But it's got to be clean from Will. It's got to be clean, given what we've seen already.
And we've seen how tough it is between these two very different cars.
Yeah.
Ligier in front, the Oreca second. Beginning to lose daylight rapidly now.
Yeah, the headlights just beginning to stand out in the gloaming, as you were calling it earlier.
Sky is pretty pictures.
4.6 seconds at the front of the field.
Now that's come down.
And like Duval is going to catch up some more here because Kobayashi's just hit traffic. 4.4.
Big gain that time. Second and a half, more than a second and a half. 4.4 seconds, 12 minutes to go. This is potential to be nose to tail.
Half a second a lap is what he's got to do.
We've got a camera angle across to the Mount Fuji and you're going to see something quite magnificent. Look at that. Fabulous.
Just to the right there of the screen.
It's Fuji-san.
Right, now, are those headlights going to get bigger? They are. Here it is.
That's the 51. It's the 51. That's the 51.
Here is the leaders coming, but that G-Drive was closing in there. I tell you what, that's great news for Bruno Senna because he got a drag from the Ferrari there. Fastest first sector by Duval. Stand by your beds, everybody. Where are you in the world?
Wakey, wakey.
It's time. Get that pot of coffee on, because that mountain has once again presided over a fantastic motor race, and it's not over. 11 minutes to go. There's 18 seconds between the top three in LMP1 and less than 5 between the top two. In LMP2 there's 11 seconds between the top three and 1.2 seconds between the top two.
126.4 for Kamui Kobayashi, lap 236. 126.2 for
and that was a traffic lap. He lost a bit of time in the middle section.
4.2 seconds. 10 minutes and 45 seconds to go. Meantime, in LMP2, it's a second dead.
Graham, we call these races, we're part of the WEC family. We try to be impartial. Let's have a listen to the team radio and then I'll go back to my point.
8 laps to go, can we? 8 laps, yep, 4.3.
Half a second a lap, exactly what I said.
Absolutely.
It's impossible to be impartial. We know these guys, we know the teams, we know the drivers. I can make a very good case for either of those cars.
Absolutely. Look, Toyota, anybody that watched Le Mans would be delighted if they came away from their home race with a win.
Yeah.
But the bitter gall of awful luck and some bad execution, it has to be said, from Audi over the last couple of races, the stuff we've been seeing going through the press room over the last 24 and 48 hours, they've had their backs to the wall. Bad luck, the 7 car here again, and they're fighting. That's what you want to see, a real dogfight. That's what we've got. 4.6 seconds is the gap, 9.5 minutes left.
I was told by all the teams this week at various times, please don't tip us to win, because I am the kiss of death. I am the angel of
viable business model.
Yes. Yes, good point. Well made. Nice. I should suggest that for the final round if it comes down to it. Yes, good idea, Mr.
Who would you like us to tip this time?
Yes, exactly right. All right, let's hear what Loic Duval has been told.
I got a massive cut in the last corner.
Look, multi-10 position -2 for left liftoff.
Right, so he's starting to lose grip through the last corner.
That's critical about launching down the pit straight. It's not stopping him from actually blitzing it on top speed. 305.9 kilometres an hour last time around. They're delivering that power very effectively, but not as well as he'd like to. And he's lost time. He's lost time in traffic. It's gone over 5.5 seconds, 8.5 minutes to go. He's looking now, to be honest with you, John, for Kobayashi to be held up. It's getting into the league of he can't do this on pace.
No, and what can Mark Webber do? He's 13 seconds further back. I don't think there's a chance of anything better than third.
Stevens, meanwhile, is still a second. It's even Stevens, and that wasn't meant to be a pun. It's not a bad one.
Punched to the floor. Senna, Stevens, Lapierre. 20 seconds between those three.
Lapierre is not going to challenge.
No, he's dropped back. He's dropped back now.
He's racing for championship.
Correct.
At this stage.
And I think that's very, very smart. But of course, the other reason that Bruno would like to keep Will Stevens behind is it's more points in their chase of the 36. Correct. Yes, they want to finish in front of the 36, but they can have somebody between them. Unbelievable.
A clean run for the flag will be exactly what's required. Bruno Senna concentrating on the task, looking for the apex, finding it.
Oh my goodness, how evocative is that?
Oh, that's not a happy bunny, is it?
No, well they're just gonna look back at the redress, and that's gonna be their story, which I understand.
That's a more happy person. Yeah, okay.
There is a certain amount of karma to having a black and orange car trying to chase down somebody.
However, they battle hard.
No, and
well.
they've all driven well today. They've all driven well.
I have to tell you, I think this has probably been the best LMP2 race ever in the FIWC. It's been an absolute corker. Let's
round up the GT classes. Pedro Lamy has lots in hand in the 98 Aston over Rui Agbash, who has settled himself into second place with the 83 Ferrari. Wolf Hensler for Porsche in third, taking advantage of the, again, awful look that Labra competition have had here. That car has not reappeared. Oh, yes, it has reappeared. Yes, around.
Yes.
But they've dropped some 40 laps on the leaders. In GTE Pro, Andy Prior is 13 and a half seconds ahead of his teammate Stefan Mucker, who was 30 seconds ahead of James Collado on the 51 Ferrari. Important result for the 51 crew, that. Ahead by 9 seconds of Sam Bird, who is chasing down his teammate. The two Astons not in the game today, not in the game. Larry Holt with the shades on,
looking very rock star, and Harry Tinknell,
he always does,
always looks rock star.
Larry Holt,
Larry Holt's the most rock star man in this business.
He is rock star. In LMP2, Bruno Senna by 0.3 of a second last time, and here it is again, going down towards the first corner, this time staying well out of the way, across the line. Who had it? Bruno Senna by 0.002 of a second, but Will Stevens goes through and immediately cuts across to try and defend on the inside. It's a nice move. The 45 is not in that fight. Can Senna put some pressure on? Down towards turn 3. Flash of the lights. Is that a flash of the lights from Bruno to say it's yours, mate? Was he trying to distract the guy ahead?
Into the pits come the 35.
That's great stuff for them.
But
that's done. That G-drive is done. He's gone.
That could only have been traffic coming into the final turn.
Well, they were pretty close to the previous lap, Graham.
It was a second and a half.
Right. And there were 3/10 coming through the final sector.
So it must have been a mighty hold-up for Bruno Senna. Sticking with him. Yeah. All of a sudden, oh look, it's a happy boy. Alex Brundle being rather more the kind of, I can put this balancing factor there. It's not done yet, says Alex. 4 minutes.
No. Many a slip betwixt the last 2 laps and checkered flag.
And 4 seconds back. And now look, Duval coming back again. Is he running out of time here, John?
He's run out of time, unfortunately, Graham. He has run out of time. Unless Kobayashi has a major issue now.
I have to say, hats off to Kobayashi. He has been a driver of very high quality indeed all day today. 3.8 seconds as they clear the next sector though. Coming down, but probably not quick enough at this stage. Kobayashi still at pace, just not quite as much pace as the chasing Audi. 41 laps complete.
So that's more than we expected.
I will say at this point, John, it is the first time to this point since Spa last year we've had a race go fully green.
Yeah. The 24-hour race at Brno this weekend, there was over 9 hours of it.
Another half a second out the first sector. And what's happened there? Kobayashi all of a sudden loses a chunk of time.
As we see the pass for the lead in LMP2.
A clean pass it was.
No, that's fine.
Dave Clark in the back of the carriage there enjoyed that one.
It's not over though when you've got traffic around like this.
2.5 seconds the gap now for the lead. It's not done. It's not done.
0, and it's all on again at the head of the field.
Oh dear, and all of a sudden they're looking concerned.
No, not again. Never give up, it says on the back. There's, it's just a huge bunch of traffic. Huge bunch of traffic. And the Audi's got to hit it. Actually, the Audi might hit it on the start-finish line.
The Audi's got 2 cars between them. It hits it perfectly for the Audi.
Oh my goodness.
This is going to be under 2.5 seconds. It's 1.9 seconds as they come into the start-finish straight. What is the gap going to be with 2 minutes on the clock? They cross the line.
There's going to be another lap after this one.
1.4 seconds.
There's going to be another lap after this one, Graham, and the Audi knows he's got to get through. He's got a couple of GT cars ahead of him. One of them is the Aston. There's debris being thrown up. It's not bad. It's not bad, but he's got to be very, very aggressive, and he is.
1.1 seconds.
Now through past the leader in LMP2, and there's nothing between them. Just that gap, and that gap is visual. This is remarkable. It's come down to this. 6 hours of racing. Are we going to go over 6 hours of racing because the checkered flag is not coming out next time around? We've got another 4 this lap.
It's going to have to be fought for. I've defended it all one. 0.9 of a second is the gap between first and second for the overall win. 1.7 is the gap in LMP2. This is magnificent stuff.
Don't care which way it goes now. I really don't. This has been brilliant from both. Absolutely brilliant from all three of the manufacturer teams. The closest
Billion bells out of that one. Well done.
Closest on record between the three teams in qualifying. The second closest between first and second. The second closest between the top six in the current system of WEC qualifying. And it's come down to this.
This is brilliant stuff. This matters probably more than any other 6-hour race that I can remember for all sorts of reasons.
This is lap 243 completed. We go on to lap 244. There's a shake of the head from Ollie Jarvis. They need help from traffic. The Toyota goes long into the first corner. It's going to be all about where the traffic is hit. Like Duval, it's like a video game for him now. There is his target. Time is running out. Time has elapsed. It's over. Now it's the chase to the line. We promised you 6 hours of action. We're going to give you a little bit more here. Duval was actually slower that time around by half a second, but now he's got the bit between his teeth. Oh,
Traffic,
look at the traffic!
there's
Look at the traffic in front of the leaders.
Oh dear, oh dear.
Anything that happened here, Duval's going to be right on the back of the Toyota as they come into the accelerator. It's quite a long run to the finishing line here.
Yes,
Who's got the energy left? And I don't mean physically, I mean electrically. It's going to be who's got the boost out of the final corner.
Look at this.
Watch this. This is the end of the race. This is who is going to win the 6 hours. This is not necessarily great for Toyota. He's been caught
picked the right line. He's picked the right line.
Brilliant stuff from Kobayashi. The crowd in front of us rises one of the 6 hours. All Fuji goes to Toyota on home grounds. And at the line, it's a second and a half. The crowd literally go wild.
Absolutely, everybody on their feet for that one.
Payback from Le Mans. It's not as sweet as the big race, but my goodness me, Ollie Jarvis is robbed of another victory. He's probably the least happy in that Audi pit, but Audi continue to pressure Porsche in both the manufacturer and the Drivers' Championship with the
Giorgiani has come home fifth
position for the current leaders of the championship. Waiting for Ant Davison to come through. It'll be 1-4 for Toyota. Who would have bet that Toyota would have the only two cars in the top four?
Absolutely wonderful stuff. Absolutely brilliant result for this group of people. Fighters, the lot of them.
Will Stevens beats Bruno Senna by 1.3 seconds. I think that was fair enough.
First win of the season for Toyota. Look at that. First win of the season for the G-Drive team of the WEC. First win of the season for the Ford UK team. The 67 car has come home. Andy Brio and Harry Ticknell. And a win again for the number 98 Aston Martin team. What a fantastic 6 hours of entertainment, John. Absolutely magnificent.
What can you say after that?
That's a happy man.
Audi again controlled that race and still couldn't win it. Did nothing wrong there.
Yeah, awesome drive, Kevin. Awesome drive. Well done. Well done. Great. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. And also, when you said, thank you, man. Well done, Kelly.
Now that's going to be a man that would be very proud indeed from this day forward to put on his business card Toyota Gazoo Racing sports car driver.
Yep.
Fantastic stuff. What a great result.
G-Drive, I think that's a reasonable result for G-Drive, and I think that's the right result. I didn't like them being pushed up against the wall by Bruno. Said that last year when it was their driver doing it to someone else, and to be consistent, as I said, I think you could have argued that he was pushed there.
Well, how about you? But I'm looking forward to the next 12 hours of racing, because if this is the way we can finish, if this is the way we can finish the World Championship, then someone's opened the box of pigeons and put a cat in it.
We've got to cut this down to 52 minutes overnight and do a voice on it tomorrow.
Good luck with that.
Yes.
I've got the pub.
First win for the Ford UK concern in the 6 hour. format. And that has been a long time. They might do that again. I'm going to tip Ford again right now at Shanghai, by the way.
It's a very similar sort of circuit, isn't it?
Wow, I don't know what to say after that, mate. That was extraordinary. Mark Webber comes home on the podium.
All three factory teams on the podium.
Yeah, separated by 17 seconds at the end, the top three. And that was genuine racing, no interventions by safety cars, full course yellows, 6 hours and a bit of racing.
Well done to all the teams, all the drivers. Great clean race.
And to race control, because they gave the colours time to fire up and keep moving.
And they did the right thing in my mind, John. I think you think so too. And the way they dealt with the LMP2 spats at the end of the race.
Yeah.
Magnificent stuff. A race truly worthy of the World Championship moniker.
Absolutely. Let's just recap then for you. Aston Martin 98 beat Ferrari and Porsche 83 and 78 in Albans. The two Ford 67 and 66 ahead of the 51 Ferrari. And LMP2 third for Alpine, the 36 championship leading car, continue to lead the championship. Their lead is cut back tiny bit by the 43 car. They keep the championship alive for RJR Sport, and the first win of the season following their pole position for the 26G drive.
The first win by the Toyota WEC team since Bahrain, 7th round in 2014 when they became the world champions.
Yeah.
Fantastic stuff. A very, very hard-working group of people.
And Loic Duval in second place, Mark Webber in third, or 8 and 1 in third place. There will be at Weissach some questions asked about the pace of that number 2 car.
Yeah.
They went the wrong way somewhere very early this weekend and never recovered. Arigato gozaimasu. Yes. Thank you, everybody.
See you in Shanghai. Well, before then, this crowd is sticking around. It's going to be a very
and
emotional
gathering
podium.
underneath the podium from the pits lane, and people moving down the pit lane area. Yes, there is a big screen. That was it, we'll see it.
First win, of course, for Toyota for this man, Kamui Kobayashi. It's back to the podium, and then I've missed it. Stefan Sarazan and Mike Conway. We saw Alexander Wirtz there. He was aboard the car when they last won.
Yes, he was. Jacob Muller, among others, saying 6 hours of racing.
But it was 6 hours of racing. Wasn't it a 6 hour race? It was 6 hours of racing.
6 hours of racing. Brilliant. Slade Perrin, no words. First and second separated 1.3 seconds. This is the best racing on the planet. Hard to disagree with you there.
Magnificent driving, magnificent teams.
It's still as full as it was.
Fantastic cars. Wonderful, wonderful stuff.
Great fans, fantastic officiation here. Everybody from the guys who have checked our passes at the gate and everywhere that they've needed checking, who've done it with a smile on their face. Loic Duval, I'm sorry, boss.
That's the kind of moment that matters too.
That's why Audi's not leaving this sport, mate. That means too much to them. Kamui Kobayashi, the man of the moment at Fuji, is with Louise Beckett.
Well, that was some race here in Japan, and it was a hard fight for you.
Yeah, it's definitely hard. But first of all, I have to really thanks to all my fans. Yeah, this is my home race, and I think team had a great job. I think we had really good performance through the week, and of course we had really a lot of support and the sponsor as well, and I really appreciate. And it was really great to be here, and of course I think winning race, it's hard, but I think we did our best, and thank you very much. Too quick.
After the season that Toyota have had so far, and particularly Le Mans, what does this win mean?
Well, I think it is my first race, but of course in the Le Mans, it's for us, it's really hard, but at least we want to win our home race, and we are really confident to after qualify to win today's. But it was really hard, more than we expected. So we did our best, and finally we achieved it, which is really great. I'm really happy to be here.
Well done. I'm going to let you get to your podium.
皆さんありがとうございました。
Well, we came with high hopes for racing at Fuji for the 7th round of the FIA World Endurance Championship, and the weather certainly was playing ball in front of a big crowd. Ollie Jarvis led the world-class field as the red lights went out. He had timed it perfectly and led into the first corner. The scrap began then behind him. Little were we to know that it was going to carry on beyond the whole of the 6-hour time limit. A little bit of contact between the privateers, the CLM and the Rebellion early on, and behind the leading cars, the start in the LMP2 category was a little untidy, with the championship leaders going wide, causing a bit of a stack up that went all the way back through the GT field. In the first hour, all of the manufacturers took a turn at the head of the field. Audi led from pole position, but when they pitted, first Toyota and then Porsche came through. Then, after just 17 laps, the first big story of the race, Ben Trelliways, number 7 Audi, out of the race with a hybrid problem. It did come back out, but the technical officials said it was outside of homologation and Audi withdrew the car. The LMP2 battle was hard fought right to the end of the race. At one time we had second all the way down to 6th, line astern and sometimes side by side. Khaled El Khabazi making a slight misjudgment at turn 1, but fortunately everyone managed to miss the spinning Porsche, including one of the leading Toyotas and the top cars in LMGT E Pro. Richard Bradley and Gustavo Menezes give us plenty of excitement, battling for position in the Manor and the Alpine respectively. The blue Alpine going off the track. Audi threw everything at this race, including a brand new set of tyres right at the end of the race, trying to pull back the lead that they'd given up to the number 6 Toyota. Loic Duval was asked by his teammates if he was the man to bring it to the end. He was the quickest, and therefore he did get the vote. In LMP2, Will Stevens took the lead controversially, going off the circuit down the pit road, and was told to give that position back, leaving the
Team manager, car 26, tell your driver to give the position back to car 43.
which was done a couple of laps later, around the 100R. Bruno Senna, though, could not hold off a charged up Will Stevens. Championship in the mind of the 43 cars. They're trying to close down on the 36 Alpine. A dominating day for Aston Martin and the 98 team in GTE. GT Pro was bossed by Ford, and they came home 1-2 after starting 1 and 2. G-Drive fought back and took LMP2, and at the end it was 1.4 seconds between Toyota taking their first win since Bahrain 2014 and the Audi number 8, Loic Duval, charging but coming up a second and a half short. Mark Webber and the number 1 in third.
Well, losing daylight, and it's always a magical moment, isn't it? It looks fantastic, and the crowd are here, waiting patiently till we see the drivers. Here comes the number 13 Rebellion crew, take what eventually was an unchallenged after the retirement of the CLM, but a nonetheless impressive run from the Rebellion guys. Dominic Freihammer, Alexander Imperatore, Matteo Tuscia, from far left to right. Third position, a man who's had something of a weekend for all sorts of reasons, Mark Webber, led out though the number 1 Porsche crew by Timo Bernhard, but Brendan Hartley pushed very hard indeed. All three of them ultimately did not have an answer this weekend for the other 2 lead cars in the factory teams. Probably the most disappointed crew of the lot, the number 8 Audi crew.
That was their another time when I'm going to say that was their race, mate.
Yeah, but I think they did all they could this weekend. Lucas de Grassi, Oliver Jarvis, fantastic start of the race for Oliver, and Loic Duval, epic stuff from him. But local heroes,
listen to this.
Number 6 Toyota TS050 crew.
Toyota Gazoo Racing win on home ground. Toyota turned this track around in the early 2000s. A truly multinational team, Japanese manufacturer, a lot of French on the team, and they're based in Germany.
One thing I've not mentioned so far.
Of course, gives that crew second in the Drivers' Championship.
Behind the Audi 8 crew, so it mattered more than just the result on the road. They move up to second in the Drivers' Championship, and with the number 2 Porsche finishing 5th on the road, that tightens things up to, well, a pretty remarkable degree. It's not close enough yet to say that the number 2 are under threat, but they're certainly under rather more pressure than they were this time yesterday. Fantastic race. Trophies there for the Rebellion Racing guys, and as I say, I believe that seals the championship for them. Move to LMP2 next year. We'll play trophies for the number 1 Porsche crew. Does that mark the end of their hopes and aspirations of a potential run to
of holding
repeat?
On?
Certainly lose ground to the top, well, sorry, the second and third place teams. Make up a little bit of ground, of course, on the leaders. Cups up for a disappointed, rightly so, number 8 Audi team. They were unlucky enough that when they hit their form, came back.
Listen to the crowd.
It wasn't quite enough.
Listen to the crowd for the winners.
United Alex Furks, team ambassador, of course, here. Trophy's being handed now. Louis Kobayashi and Mike Conway. That is the result this crowd came to see.
Long time since Toyota have sprayed the champagne, and they do it on home ground. It will taste all the sweeter for that and for the nightmare that befell them in the dying moments of the Le Mans 24 Hour 2016. With that victory, their first since Bahrain, the final round in 2014, when they took the World Championship, they put their drivers into second place in the Drivers' World Championship. And with Porsche and Audi still battling for the Manufacturers' Championship, there's still an opportunity for ground to be made up there. That is the scenario that we are looking at. Confirmation then of the top 4 separated by under a minute, and the top 2 by a second and a half. G-Drive winning by just 1.3 seconds as well in LMP2. Ford, Chip Ganassi, Team UK take their first victories in the FIA WEC. First and second, started first and second on the grid from Ferrari in third. And Aston Martin Racing in the AM class once again. Next, it's Shanghai.
A red dragon is dancing and jumping. A player place where grandstands are skyscrapers and corners looking like snakes.
World Endurance Championship, international event.
In the mood for racing. Stronger.
6 hours of Shanghai on 5th and 6th November. The spirit of Le Mans is coming to Shanghai.
5th and 6th of November, fireworks aplenty. There's the World Endurance Manufacturers Championship. Porsche ease away from Audi, but it's not over yet. We've seen what can happen with cars not scoring points, and that is still only a perfect race against two non-finishers.
And can win it in Shanghai with the right result, Porsche, at this point. GT Pro. It's a Ferrari third position finish for the number 51 Ferrari. Of course a squad, but it's the top two steps to the podium from absolutely delighted. Board GT UK, Ganassi Racing UK, Stefan Muka and Olivier Pla in second position. George Howard Chapel, it is George Howard Chapel, as the
As
team
it should be.
absolutely. And but the winners, of course, of course, as Chip Ganassi Racing Team UK, the US national anthem for the US registered team. Harry Tingle and Andy Prio.
Yeah, proud Channel Islander, Andy Prio, MBE.
That, I think, is Andy's first win in the WEC. Got a funny feeling Tinks has done it before for Jota at Spa.
Correct.
That's the best the Ferrari boys were hoping for today. Without issues or others that they certainly wouldn't wish on them, but actually that was imperious from Ford.
Well, and you know, it's the same thing that we said at Le Mans. When you design a car to be fast down the long straights and good in fast corners, then it's going to be good at Le Mans. And they drove away from everybody bar Risi at Le Mans, and this is a very similar circuit. Shanghai, Shanghai have got another chance bar in. I think it'll be too hot for them.
Get a screen grab here, because that's a picture there of George Howard Chapel smiling.
No, sure. Does he have indigestion?
It might be wind.
It's very funny, Bear says George Howard Chapel is not a man who was made to smile at.
God bless him. It's been an excellent effort. It has been. Well done, George. Well done, everybody, to Ford. And in particular, well done to the victorious 67 crew. Had to do that despite a bit of a clash with
George is a bit slow on the car. He's being mocked by the team.
Lack of preparation there.
Terrible lack of preparation by the boss.
Still love that. The boss getting a bit soft.
That's the confirmation. And again, we're only 40 seconds between the top three. In fairness, that was a bigger gap for Ford, because although Sam Bird closed down on his teammate towards the end, they dominated that race. And there is the confirmation that Kamui Kobayashi, Mike Conway and Stefan Sarazan go into second place.
23 points a gap.
Yeah, that's doable, isn't it?
It's getting there.
It's doable. The GT drivers has Marcus Sorensen and Nicky Thiem ahead of Davide Rigon and Sam Bird. No wonder Sam was pushing so hard.
Absolutely, that was important for them. That was battling away for that very important 4th and 5th position.
And Ferrari by just 3 points from Aston Martin
take the lead,
and that's why that was important for them to be ahead, and that's why Aston Martin were trying a few different strategies there to get ahead at the end.
Outscored Aston Martin by 9 points here, and that's enough for the Ferrari guys to take the lead in the championship.
Still a huge crowd here, Grim. 1 or 2 cars leaving now. This was reaction, the two teams looking at each other on the split screen, which I thought was a really good way of doing that. Nicely done by Olivier and the guys down in the truck.
Stand by my conclusion, I think this was the best LMP2 race we've ever seen in the WEC this afternoon. At its moments, this was
the controversial moment. Now, did he drive there or was he pushed there? And that's what the argument would have been. There was a redress. They went wild on that. And then, of course, they'd had to be given back because he was deemed to have gone all 4 wheels across the line. He certainly did, there was no doubt about that, Will Stevens. But then when he made the decisive pass for the lead, it was clean going down into turn 1. Bruno Senna battled as hard as he could. Fuck off! Racing off as restrained as ever. Pardon the language there, I'm afraid, from Roman. Let's move on to LMP2. This was a hard-fought battle. The championship leaders on the podium again for Alpine, the number 36 crew. Probably just a bit short today. Could have been struggling at the end as well for fuel. RGR Sport, Albuquerque, Senna and Gonzalez, and then Roman Rusinov, Will Stevens back with G Drive and Alex Brundle.
Closest the gap in the championship between the Synthetech crew and the 43 RGR crew.
And the national anthem of the winning entrant, which is G Drive for the Russian Federation.
It's really the first time that you win, huh?
Team manager of the WEC squad for G-Drive. Of course, winners already in the LMS, their first win in the WEC
this season
with the Orica. Gustavo Menezes, he's got something to look forward to as a end of season present with an LMP1 test drive in Bahrain. Stefan McElmy and the delighted Nico Lapia. They did the job that needed to be done. Bruno Senna, Ricardo Gonzalez, and the centre Felipe Albuquerque close the gap just a little. So one might still go to the wire. It's winners, Roman Rusinov, Will Stevens, and Alex Brundle. Will Stevens' first win in the WEC. I think a standout driver in the sports cars. I think both he and Kamui Kobayashi laid down a marker. They have something to say about the future career and what is becoming an increasingly competitive part of the sport. Delight. And of course, a sea of yellow all Dunlop this weekend.
Some more Fizzy being shamelessly wasted.
Gary Holland, another one there. He's here, going to revert to the team.
Oh dear.
Oh dear. No, it's not going to work.
Just walk away with the ball. Why doesn't anybody at that point just walk away with the ball?
That's what he's done there. He wasn't well prepared, but he has saved the best of the last.
Yeah, okay.
And still got some to play with. Steve worked hard for that one.
Yeah, and I think that was smart from the guys at RGR on the wall to give the kind of information they did. Top three within half a minute, under a second and a half for the top two. 223 laps completed. So that was a long race. It just goes to show, doesn't it, how things have come on down through the years.
So 171 points now to the good for the number 36 crew, 133 for the number 43 crew. And we're boosting off way back now at 112. It really is down to whether or not the 36 car can run clean for the last two races of this season. Should they be able to do that, they can drive effectively as they did this afternoon, a conservative race to the flag. Excellent run as well, by the way, from the Straka team. Didn't get the podium this time, and good news too for the number 30 squad.
1113k covered by the winners in LMP1.
34 points now the gap in the team's classification. Again, it's not big enough that you can afford a DNF if you're leading that, Signatic Alpine, but it's a comfortable margin.
And 1,063 kilometres in 6 hours by the P2 cars.
That's astounding, isn't it? Remember, we used to run Le Mans Series races to 1,000 kilometres. And that's well over 5% more than you would expected from a P1 winner. Thank you, Japan. This has been magnificent.
In GTE Pro, by the way, they covered 967 kilometres in 6 hours. And the guys coming out now, .949 for the AM cars.
Astounding. So here we go, final podium of the evening. It's GT AM, third position. Went to the number 78 KCMG Porsche crew, run by Proton Competition. Joel Camathias, the tall guy on the left-hand side there. Christian Reed, the team principal, in the centre. Wolf Hensler, Porsche factory driver, on the left-hand side. Second position to the number 83 crew, the championship leading AF Corsa Ferrari.
And the winner is Aston Martin number 98, the UK national anthem. Short but sweet.
4 anthems, all very different anthems. 3 continents represented. Terada-san, Tiro Terada, serial competitor in the Le Mans 24 Hours down through, well, frankly, most of my racing life, John.
Yeah.
Represent the trophies. Aston Martin extends their lead in the standings of the manufacturer. There's won most class wins in the WEC. Another one with this result. The 83 crew will have to do this, the sums on this one. They're moving very close to that championship.
Freak saying he's fairly certain, as am I, that the race lap records all went today finally. I'm fairly certain you're right on that. I haven't got a full breakdown.
Manuel Collard and Francois Perotto, I believe, will go into Shanghai with a 31-point lead in the class championship.
Oh, hey, not just quick on the track for Paul Dallalana, fastest fingers first. Well, brilliant stuff from Fuji. It's been a place down through the years that we've always enjoyed visiting. We've not always had the result in terms of the action on the track because of interruptions by weather. But when it shines here, my goodness, does it shine. And even at this time of the evening, the full moon out on the far side of the circuit, Aston Martin Racing winning the GTE classification from AF Corsa, and it was actually by a full lap in the end because of where they were when the winners came around. KCMG taking third position, some thoughts going to the 50 crew. They've had a tough week this week and a tough week on the track. And it is indeed the gap between Collard, Perodo and Aguas closed down there by Paul Dallalana, Pedro Lamy and Matthias Lauda.
That was the bit I mistook. Of course, they've gone back into second position.
Yeah. So the next challenge for the teams and drivers of the FIA World Endurance Championship is the